Hello guys, how's everyone doing? Today I'm back with a brand new manhwa, so without wasting any time, let's jump straight into the story. The story begins in Yunhua City, where we see a luxurious Grand Yuan Hotel, a top-tier 5-star hotel that screams wealth and power. The scene shifts inside one of its rooms. Inside the bathroom, a woman is taking a shower. Meanwhile, in the bedroom stands a man named Fong Chiao. Slowly, shamelessly, he lifts the woman's dress and inhales its scent deeply. An evil smile spreads across his face as he mutters to himself. Jiao, no matter what, you'll become mine. Just as he's drowning in his filthy thoughts. Ding dong. The doorbell rings. From outside, a voice calls out, "Sir, your food delivery has arrived." Annoyed, Fong Chiao clicks his tongue and walks toward the door. "I'm coming." The door opens. Standing outside is a delivery boy. And that delivery boy is our main character, Ye Chen. With respect, Ye Chen says, "Sir, your food delivery." But before he can finish, his eyes drift inside the room. At that exact moment, the bathroom door opens. Wang Jiao steps out, wrapped in a towel, her wet hair clinging to her shoulders. She looks at Fong Chiao and asks casually, "Fong Chiao, did you take my clothes?" Then, her eyes land on Ye Chen. She freezes. At the same time, Ye Chen's mind goes completely blank. His hands loosen. The food package slips and hits the floor. Fong Chiao explodes in anger. "Hey!" But before he can continue, Jiao suddenly blurts out, "Honey!" Fong Chiao pauses, confused. "Honey?" Then it clicks. He looks Ye Chen up and down, a mocking smile curling on his lips. "So this is your useless husband? A food delivery guy?" He laughs, proud and amused. "I can't believe I ordered food from Wang Jiao's trash husband." That's when Ye Chen finally snaps. He looks straight into Jiao's eyes, his voice trembling with pain. "Wang Jiao, I stayed in your Wang family for 3 years. I cooked for your family 3 times a day. I cleaned dog shit. I fed the cats. I won't say it was hard, but I treated you sincerely." His voice grows heavier. "In these 3 years, you never even let me touch your hand." A flashback appears. Jiao coldly pushing him away. "Don't come near me. Sleep on the floor." Back to the present. Ye Chen shouts, tears burning in his eyes. "I thought you were a woman with principles. But today, you're enjoying yourself with another man." He asks desperately, "Why did you do this?" Jiao doesn't feel even a hint of shame. Coldly, she replies, "Why? Because my husband is just an ordinary food delivery man." She proudly gestures toward Fong Chiao. "Do you know who he is? CEO of an investment firm. Young master of the Fong family, one of Yunuo's first-class families, with assets worth hundreds of millions." Then she looks at Ye Chen with disgust. "Only men like him are worthy of me. Not poor trash like you." Seizing the moment, Fong Chiao puts his hand on Jiao's shoulder and smirks at Ye Chen. "Since you're her husband, I won't file a complaint. Just consider the food fed to dogs." Then he adds mockingly, "If you kneel and apologize, I'll even give you a 5-star rating." Inside, Ye Chen thinks, shameless. Just because you're rich. Fong Chiao leans closer to Jiao. "Don't worry about him. Before he can finish, Ye Chen lunges forward and grabs Fong Chiao by the throat. "Stop right there, you animal!" Fong Chiao struggles, gasping. "It hurts, let go!" Instead of helping Ye Chen, Jiao screams at him. "Ye Chen! How dare you touch him? Get out right now, or I'll call security!" Seeing his wife protect another man completely breaks Ye Chen. He releases Fong Chiao and can only whisper one name. Wang Jiao. A memory flashes. His grandfather saying, "She's the fiancée I chose for you." Back then, Ye Chen thought he could live a happy life with her. Now he realizes. It was just wishful thinking. Before leaving, he gives her one final warning. "Wang Jiao, I hope one day you won't regret this." He turns and walks away. Behind him, Jiao screams hysterically. My biggest regret in life is marrying a useless husband like you. Outside, Ye Chen sits on his scooter. His phone rings. Hello, Tan Tan delivery. On the other end, an old man speaks calmly and respectfully. Third young master, your 3-year character trial as a live-in son-in-law has officially ended today. Ye Chen falls silent. The next trial is a business trial. Old master has already acquired Huashan Group. Everything is arranged for you to become its chairman. At that moment, it becomes clear. Ye Chen was never ordinary. He was a billionaire heir, merely undergoing a test. His expression settles. I understand. The old man hesitates. Old master also wants to know, should young madam be formally accepted into the family? Ye Chen's face turns ice cold. No need. She's not worth it. He hangs up. At 8 p.m., in the Shingang residential community. Jiayao stands on one side. Ye Chen packs his luggage on the other. She sneers. Running away? Over such a small thing? Ye Chen turns. You think cheating is a small thing? Jiaya shows no shame. So what? You expect me to apologize? You eat our food, drink our water, live in our house. Even if I did something wrong, you should tolerate it. That's it. Ye Chen explodes. I tolerated your Wong family for 3 years. Your parents insulted and beat me publicly. I never fought back. Your relatives bullied me, and you all pretended not to see. I respected you because I cared. Then he says clearly, Wang Jiayao, let's get a divorce. She snaps. How dare you ask for a divorce? After divorce, you won't live in luxury or drive an Audi. Ye Chen laughs coldly. I don't need any of that. Her ego shatters. My Wang family is near first class with billions in assets. You were never worthy. She screams. Fine. Divorce. I don't know what Grandpa was thinking marrying me to a loser like you. Ye Chen replies calmly. Tomorrow morning. Civil Affairs Bureau. She pauses. Not tomorrow. It's my grandma's 80th birthday. I need to discuss this with my family. Do it fast, Ye Chen says. I'll wait for your call. He walks out. Rain pours heavily. His phone rings again. Young master, the car is waiting at the corner. He turns. A convoy of black Rolls-Royces stands silently in the rain. Black-suited bodyguards bow in unison. Welcome, young master. A guard offers an umbrella. No need, Ye Chen says softly. The rain helps clear my mind. At that moment, another bodyguard steps forward and gently drapes an expensive coat over Ye Chen's shoulders. The instant the coat settles on him, his entire aura changes. His presence becomes heavy, oppressive, unmistakably dominant. In a deep, commanding voice, he gives only one order. Let's go. As soon as the convoy starts moving, the people standing nearby are left completely stunned. Voices erupt from the crowd. Whoa, Rolls-Royce! Are those all Rolls-Royces? What's going on here? From an apartment window above, Jiayao hears the commotion and leans out to look down. She frowns in confusion. Why are so many Rolls-Royces leaving from here? Did some important person come? She has no idea that the so-called important person is the very man she just kicked out of her house. At the same time, we're introduced to Ye Chen's family. The world only knows about mysterious families like the Rothschilds, DuPonts, and Morgans. But the most mysterious family of all is actually his. A family with assets exceeding 100 billion. Yet they live in extreme secrecy. You won't even find their name on any rich people ranking list. Scene change. Ye Chen arrives beside a helicopter. A bodyguard gestures respectfully. Young master, this way. Here, we learn how this family trains its heirs. From the age of 3, next-generation candidates undergo strict screening and trials. By 5, they study martial arts, piano, and foreign languages simultaneously. By 18, they've already completed a 4-year American university business curriculum. But academics aren't enough. To shape character, the family elders assign special trials. This makes Ye Chen recall. 3 years ago, inside the family estate. His grandfather had ordered him. Ye Chen, I'm arranging your marriage into the Wong family, a second-class family in Yinzhou. You will live as a common man. You will not reveal your identity. And you will complete this test successfully. Back then, Ye Chen had replied calmly. Yes, Grandpa. I understand. Returning to the present. Sitting inside the helicopter, Ye Chen thinks to himself, back then, I accepted this trial willingly. But now, it's finally over. Soon after, the helicopter lands in front of a palace-like mansion. The guards bowed deeply. Young master, welcome back. And just like that, Ye Chen returns to his real home, and his real identity. Looking at the mansion, he murmurs to himself. I, Ye Chen, am back. Scene shifts to the next day, 10 a.m., at the Yunzhou Shishan Villa area. The Wong family's old madam's birthday celebration is in full swing. Happy birthday, Grandma! Mom, may you live for 200 years! Suddenly, someone in the crowd asks Jiao. Hey, didn't that loser Ye Chen come? Jiao hesitates before replying. He probably went to work. Hearing that, Wang Xiaojie and Wang Weiyan burst out laughing. Work? Delivering food? Wang Xiaojie snorts angrily. He's a stain on our Wang family. Once he bumped into one of my business partners. I didn't even dare tell my friends he's our relative. Hearing this, old Madame Wang explodes in anger. Call him here. Right now. That boy has no manners at all. Panicking, Jiao blurts out. Grandma, he didn't come today because we're getting a divorce. Old Madame freezes. Divorce? Who gave you permission to divorce? Have you forgotten that your marriage was arranged by your late grandfather? Jiao immediately starts acting. She drops to her knees, crying. Grandpa, I would never dare go against Grandpa's last wish. But Ye Chen crossed the line. He's having an affair with another woman outside. Inside, she thinks. They can never find out that I cheated first. If he wants to abandon me, then flipping the game is better. Hearing this, old Madam becomes even angrier. That animal? We gave him a mansion to live in for 3 years. Luxury cars to drive. And he still couldn't stay loyal to you? At this moment, Wang Xiaojie cuts in. Jiao, don't take it the wrong way, but your elder brother has to say this. You're partly at fault too. 3 years of marriage, yet you never let him even touch you. No wonder he went looking for another woman. Or were you saving your purity so you could divorce him and marry some rich man later? That idiot probably didn't even realize it. Instead of calming down, old Madame's anger intensifies. No matter what Jiao did, Ye Chen had no right to look for another woman. Bring that animal here immediately. Today, I'll show him what justice of the Wong family looks like. Terrified, Jiao nods repeatedly and dials Ye Chen's number. The call connects. From the other side, Ye Chen asks calmly, What is it? Jiao replies arrogantly, Grandma wants you to come here. Ye Chen responds instantly, I'm not coming. Click. The call ends. Jiao stands there, shaking with rage. How dare he hang up on me? She reports back. He's not coming. Old Madam completely loses it. The status of a live-in son-in-law isn't even worth a dog. And he dares throw tantrums? Xiaojie, go. Bring him back to me, by force. Shaji grins excitedly. Got it. Perfect chance to beat Ye Chen again, he thinks as he leaves. After Xiaojie leaves, old Madam addresses everyone. I called everyone early today for a reason. Yesterday, Huaxin Group appointed a new chairman. No one knows who he is or where he came from. We're currently negotiating a 70 million financing deal, but the contract isn't signed yet. You all know Dingqing Real Estate has always collaborated with Huaxin Group. So building a good relationship with the new chairman is critical for the Wong family's future. Meanwhile, scene shifts elsewhere. Ye Chen stands quietly. A bodyguard looks at him, puzzled, and asks, Young master, why are you still wearing courier clothes? Hearing this, Ye Chen replies in a calm, steady tone. Today is the last day of my courier contract. I want to finish what I started. Inside, he thinks to himself. It's not time to reveal my identity yet. It's easier to see the enemy clearly when I stay in the dark. Just then, his phone suddenly rings. At the same time, we see Wang Xiaojie sitting in his car calling Ye Chen. Hello, Ye Chen. This is Wang Xiaojie. Where are you? Let's talk. Ye Chen answers without fear, completely calm. I'm delivering food at the Liyuan residential community. Wang Xiaojie lets out a cold laugh. Oh, I'm coming there right now. Wait for me. A short while later, Xiaojie drives over at full speed. He slams the brakes right in front of Ye Chen. Rolling down the car window, he says arrogantly, Get in the car. Grandma wants to see you. Ye Chen replies instantly, without hesitation. Even if your grandma backs Wang Jiayao, it's useless. I'm getting this divorce no matter what. The moment he hears that, Wang Xiaojie explodes. Are you crazy? My grandma is backing you. She wants to give you family justice. Ye Chen asks calmly. Family justice? On what basis? That question makes Xiaojie even angrier. He points at Ye Chen and shouts. On what basis? You found another woman outside. No matter what, Wang Jiayao is still a member of the Wong family. You wronged the Wong family. So you deserve to die. Hearing this, Ye Chen slowly removes his helmet and asks with genuine surprise. I found another woman? Did Wang Jiayao say that? The next second. He can't hold it in anymore. He bursts out laughing loudly. Seeing this, Xiaojie snaps. What are you laughing at? Suddenly, Ye Chen's expression turns completely serious. Inside, rage surges. Wang Jiayao. Even bullying has a limit. That shameless woman has gone too far. As Ye Chen's aura shifts, a trace of fear creeps into Xiaojie's heart. What's going on? Why did his expression suddenly become so scary? Like a superior looking down on everyone, but Xiaojie quickly reassures himself. No way. I must be imagining it. How could this useless trash have such an aura? Regaining his arrogance, he orders coldly. Trash, get in the car. First, kneel at the hotel entrance. After the birthday banquet ends, accept your punishment. Then listen to Grandma's instructions about the divorce. Hearing Xiaojie's nonsense, Ye Chen refuses directly. I already said I'm not going. Xiaojie opens the car door and steps out angrily. Looks like your skin is itching again. He moves forward, raising his fist. I'll beat you. Before his hand can come down, Ye Chen turns around and delivers a powerful kick straight to his face. Ah! Xiaojie screams in pain and stumbles back. You trash! How dare you fight back? As he shouts, he pulls a knife from his pocket and roars. I'll execute family justice for Grandma. I'll cut you to death. He lunges forward, slashing wildly. Swish, swish, swish. But Ye Chen effortlessly dodges every attack. With a precise strike, he hits Xiaojie's wrist, knocking the knife to the ground. Immediately after, Ye Chen rains down punches, smashing Xiaojie's face mercilessly. In just a few seconds, Xiaojie collapses to the ground, screaming in pain. Ah! Ah! Looking down at him, Ye Chen gives a cold warning. Go back and tell the Wong family. I'm not their dog anymore. I won't come when they call, and I won't leave when they wave. Unless I choose to. No one can order me around. Lying on the ground, Xiaojie roars angrily. You live in son-in-law, just you wait. Scene shifts. We see the Manhua hotel. Old Madame Wong is waiting. Soon, Xiaojie arrives. Seeing him, she smiles happily. Xiaojie is as efficient as ever. But the next moment, Xiaojie staggers out of the car crying. Grandma. Seeing his swollen face, old Madame is shocked. My good grandson! Who did this to you? Who dared to hit you? Xiaojie cries and complains. Grandma, it was Wang Jiayao's useless husband. He beat me. Hearing this, Wang Jichang, Xiaojie's father, turns red with rage. That useless thing dared to hurt you. I want him dead! Xiaojie hurriedly adds. Call the police! Old Madam immediately refuses. No. This is a family matter. Don't worry. I'll make sure he gets the punishment he deserves. If we call the police, this shameful matter will spread easily. She then turns to Wang Jichang and orders coldly. Jichang, I know you have some friends in the underworld. Let them teach that animal a hard lesson. And bring him back to me. Jichang nods immediately. Yes. Half an hour later. Scene shifts to another residential community. Ye Chen is walking calmly when two large thugs block his path. You're Ye Chen, right? Come with us. Ye Chen instantly understands. The Wong family sent you again, right? Today is my last day delivering food. I'm not going anywhere. One thug sneers angrily. Refusing a toast just to drink a forfeit. Break his hands first, then we'll talk. Both of them charge at Ye Chen. The next moment, only screams echo through the area. Ah! After beating them down, Ye Chen checks his delivery bag and exhales in relief. Luckily, the food isn't damaged. Just then, one thug gathers his courage and tries to attack from behind. Stop! Without turning around, Ye Chen throws a powerful backhand punch. The thug is sent flying and crashes to the ground, completely knocked out. Ye Chen checks his bag again and nods. Luckily, the takeout is fine. He gets on his scooter and rides toward the next destination, muttering calmly. Just one last order left. After that, the scene shifts to the Manhua Hotel, where the Wong family's grand party is in full swing. At that moment, Wang Jiqiang, looking completely panicked, rushes to his mother and says, Mom, the professional goons I hired, they were all crippled by Ye Chen. Hearing this, old Madame Wong is instantly shocked. Anger flashes across her face as she coldly asks, Is there really no one left who can handle this animal? The moment those words leave her mouth, the guests standing nearby are stunned. They start whispering among themselves. My God! I really didn't expect this. Could that useless live-in son-in-law actually be a martial artist? Just then, an old man standing nearby speaks up respectfully. Old Madam, Mr. Ma Kun, the general agent of one-to-one delivery in Yinzhou, has come to wish you a happy birthday. The moment he hears that name, Jiqiang immediately turns to his mother and says, Mom, isn't he Ye Chen's boss? I have a great idea. In the next scene, we see Ma Kun, the general agent of one-to-one delivery, entering with an expensive bottle of wine in his hand. He walks forward politely and says with a smile, Old Madam Wong, I heard you enjoy drinking. This is a 1990 Romani Conti, specially prepared for you. Happy birthday. I wish you a long and healthy life. Old Madam Wong accepts the gift, but her expression remains gloomy. In a low voice, she says, Thank you, President Ma. Seeing her mood, Ma Kun becomes slightly concerned and asks, Old Madam Wong, what's wrong? You seem a bit upset. Old Madam takes a deep breath and replies, Boss Ma, I'm not afraid of embarrassing myself in front of you, but our Wong family is currently facing a very serious family problem. Before she can continue, Jiqiang cuts in and says, Do you remember Ye Chen? The live-in son-in-law from my younger brother's family. Hearing this, Ma Kun is slightly surprised and immediately asks, Are you saying that live-in son-in-law not only cheated, but also injured your young master? Inside, Ma Kun thinks to himself, How did that trash dare to provoke the Wong family? Then, in a regretful tone, he says, It's unfortunate. I don't have many connections in Yinzhou, otherwise I would personally teach that ungrateful bastard a lesson. The moment he says this, Jiqiang hurriedly replies, No, Boss Ma. You're too humble. You can actually help us in this matter. He then leans forward slightly and says, That bastard is your employee. He works at one-to-one delivery. Hearing this, Ma Kun is completely shocked. What? Ye Chen is an employee of one-to-one delivery? Once the truth is confirmed, a confident smile appears on his face. President Wang, leave this matter to me. Immediately after, Ma Kun takes out his phone and makes a call. Hello, little Kai. Check this employee ID and his current location. Then, with a sinister smile, he gives another order. Good. Assign him an order immediately. Location, Manhua Grand Hotel. 15 minutes later, we see Ye Chen arriving outside the hotel. On the phone, he says, Mr. Ma, your food delivery has arrived. I'm at the entrance of Manhua Hotel. From the other side, Ma Kun replies coldly, Bring it inside. Looking at the hotel, Ye Chen becomes suspicious. Inside his mind, he thinks, Manhua Grand Hotel, this is Yunzhou's top birthday banquet hotel. The entire Wong family must be here. He then politely replies on the phone, According to hotel policy, delivery drivers are not allowed inside. Please come out and collect it. Inside the hotel, Ma Kun, standing beside old Madame Wong, replies calmly, Fine. Wait at the entrance. He hangs up the phone. At that moment, standing outside, Ye Chen suddenly hears multiple footsteps approaching. He immediately understands. Damn it, this is a trap. Soon after, Ma Kun, old Madame Wong, and the entire Wong family walk out together. Ma Kun respectfully guides old Madame Wong forward. Old Madame Wong, this way. Then Ma Kun walks straight up to Ye Chen, looks down on him arrogantly, and orders, Take off your uniform and your work badge. Right now, a confused Ye Chen asks. What do you mean? Mocking his confusion, Shaji bursts into loud laughter. Idiot! Do you know who this is? This is your top boss, Ma Kun, the general agent of one-to-one delivery. Ma Kun then threatens coldly. If you don't believe me, I can have the manager call you right now. At that exact moment, Ye Chen's phone rings. He answers it, and the manager screams from the other side. How did you offend President Mao? You're already fired. Hearing this, Ye Chen's anger and disappointment explode together. Inside his mind, he thinks, I wanted to end my delivery career peacefully, but this bastard ruined everything. Ma Kun then shouts, Hurry up! Take off your clothes! You're fired! Strip, take everything off! Angrily, Ye Chen removes his jacket. Seeing this, Xiao Jie starts recording a video while laughing loudly. Ha! You look just like a dog! Then Ji Chang steps forward and mocks him. Trash! Where did all your arrogance go now? You dared to hit my son, didn't you? Ignoring them all, Ye Chen calmly says, Boss Ma, I heard that your agency contract with Tunwan Delivery expires this year. Hearing this, Ma Kun is both shocked and furious. How does he know that? But on the surface, he maintains his attitude and says, What does that have to do with you? Then Ye Chen declares, There's no need for you to go to the capital to discuss renewal. You won't be an agent anymore. The moment he hears this, Ma Kun explodes with rage. What do you think you are? You say I can't be an agent, and suddenly I'm not one? Do you know how tight my relationship with the CEO of Tunwan Delivery is? At that moment, old Madame Wong interferes, screaming angrily. Ye Chen! Kneel down! She announces in front of all the guests. Today, in front of everyone, I will execute family justice on you. First, you cheated and wronged Jiayao. Then, you injured my grandson. But Ye Chen refuses outright and replies coldly. Old thing, keep dreaming. Why should I kneel? Seeing his insolence, old Madame Wong reminds him of the past. 3 years ago, when you married into the Wong family, you personally made a promise. I ask you now, does that promise still count? If you ever harmed the Wong family, you would accept the Wong family's justice. Without fear, Ye Chen straightens his chest and says, Every word spoken by me, Ye Chen, naturally counts. The moment she hears this, old Madame Wong immediately orders, Bring the Wong family's joint dragon ruler. Understood. Jiang replies instantly. In the next moment, a shining golden dragon ruler is brought out. It's explained that even a single strike to the face with this weapon causes 3 days of intense pain. A few more strikes, and the face would be completely ruined. Filled with anger, old Madame Wong orders, Hit him 20 times. Holding the ruler, Ji Qiang replies, Yes. Just then, Wang Jivan, Jiayao's father, steps forward and says, Mom, this was my fault. I failed to discipline my son-in-law properly. Please let me teach him a lesson personally. But at that exact moment, Jiao rushes in, snatches the ruler from her father's hand, and says, "Let me do it! He is my husband! Let me hit him!" The atmosphere was completely heated. Jiao, burning with rage, gripped the joint dragon ruler in her hand, clearly intending to teach Ye Chen a lesson. But watching this scene, Ye Chen appeared to be in an entirely different mood. A sarcastic smile slowly formed on his face as he directly attacked Jiao's hypocrisy. Mockingly, he said, "First you cheated. Then you framed me for cheating. Wasn't all that enough? Now you even want to slap me in the face?" He didn't stop there. Instead, he raised his sarcasm to another level. In a bitter tone, he said, "Wow, what a good wife. I really married a good wife, one so rare she only appears once in centuries." Hearing this harsh truth, Jiao's anger flares up. She turns her face away in fury. But the very next second, to satisfy her ego and to show her power in front of everyone present, she loudly declares, "He is my husband. If anyone is going to hit him, that right belongs to me alone." While justifying her actions, she thinks to herself, "After all, Ye Chen is my man. How can I let others hit him? If someone else does it, it would indirectly be a slap to my own face." Just as Jiao is busy convincing herself, the situation suddenly changes. Out of nowhere, Shaji, who had been standing nearby, lunges forward. Without any warning, he violently snatches the dragon ruler from Jiao's hand. His anger is completely out of control now. Turning red with rage, he roars at Ye Chen. "Ye Chen, you bastard dog!" The moment the weapon enters his hand, Xiao Jie's confidence skyrockets. He charges toward Ye Chen with all his strength, threatening him. "How dare you hit me? Today, I'll completely ruin your face." He swings the ruler through the air and attacks Ye Chen. But before the ruler can land, a twist happens. Like lightning, Ye Chen grabs his wrist midair. Before Xiao Jie can even understand what's happening or react, Ye Chen counterattacks. Smack! A fierce slap lands squarely on Xiao Jie's face. The slap is so powerful that Xiao Jie screams in pain. Seeing this scene, all the guests are completely shocked. No one can believe that the Wong family's live-in son-in-law actually dared to hit the Wong family's own grandson. Whispers erupt everywhere. "Oh my God! What just happened?" Seeing her grandson getting beaten, old Madame Wong's anger reaches its peak. She screams, "Do you even realize how many bureau chiefs and directors are present here? They can have you arrested on the spot and thrown into prison." Despite such a massive threat, Ye Chen remains completely relaxed. Calmly, he replies, "I believe all the guests here saw it clearly. It was Wang Xiaojie who attacked me first, with a weapon. I was simply acting in self-defense." At that moment, a guest steps forward from the crowd, deliberately complicating the situation. "But didn't you just say you were willing to accept the Wang family's justice? Now that punishment has arrived, you suddenly back out?" He judges Ye Chen and questions him. "Do you really think being this unreliable suits a man?" Others quickly echo his words. "That's right. He doesn't stand by his word." Hearing this, Ye Chen interrupts them and states his condition. "I am willing to accept the Wang family's justice, but only if I have actually done something wrong." The moment she hears this, old Madame Wang explodes with rage. "You looked for women behind Jiao's back. And you beat my grandson! Isn't that enough?" At this point, Ye Chen finally loses control. With absolute determination, he reveals the truth in front of everyone. "For the past 3 years, I loved Wang Jiao with my whole heart. I never once strayed." Then he shouts, exposing the real truth. "The one who cheated was your granddaughter. Just yesterday, she booked a hotel room with Fong Chiao. You can check the room records if you want." The moment that name is spoken, chaos erupts in the crowd. "Fong Chiao? The second young master of the Fong family?" Someone else adds, "I heard long ago that the Wang family was looking for a Fong family man as Jiao's next match, so it was true." Gossip spreads rapidly. The Wang family and Fong family really are a perfect match. But shouldn't Jiao have gotten a divorce first? Cheating while married isn't right, is it? Some even mockingly laugh. Looks like Yunzhou's so-called #1 beauty isn't as pure as the legends say. Seeing her reputation collapse, Jiao panics and immediately tries to cover it up. Don't listen to his nonsense, she says urgently. I only met Fong Chiao yesterday to discuss business. She continues desperately. You all know Dingqing Real Estate is raising capital recently. I went to discuss financing with young Master Fong. Ye Chen immediately counters and asks coldly, did you need to rent a hotel room just to discuss business? Did you need to wear a bathrobe just to talk? Pointing at the crowd, he says, do you think everyone here is an idiot? As the atmosphere continues to heat up, people suddenly shout toward the entrance. Hey, young Master Fong is here. Another man laughs. Perfect timing. Speak of the devil, and he appears. Fong Chiao arrives and asks, what's going on here? The moment Jiao sees him, she rushes over, acting pitiful. Young Master Fong, our live-in son-in-law is forcing false accusations on me, claiming I had an affair with you. Please tell everyone, yesterday I really came to you only for business discussions. Hearing this, Fong Chiao boils with anger inside. This soft rice-eating trash actually exposed my matter with Wang Jiao in front of so many people. But on the surface, he remains calm and addresses the crowd. Please don't listen to this useless man's nonsense. Jiao and I are innocent, he explains confidently. She only came to deliver a document yesterday. Then, full of arrogance, he turns to Ye Chen and challenges him. You claim I had an affair with Jiao. Do you have any video or photo evidence? Inside, Fong Chiao is delighted. All evidence has already been erased. And Ye Chen didn't take any photos or recordings yesterday. He then fabricates a news story to strengthen his position. Friends, he's spreading this rumor for another reason. Maybe you don't know, but the Wong family's live-in son-in-law works part-time as a food delivery driver. He continues lying. Yesterday, I ordered food, and coincidentally, he was the delivery boy. Who knew his attitude would be so terrible? He threw my food on the ground. That's why I gave him a 1-star bad rating. That's the real reason he's angry. To prove his words, Fong Chiao immediately points at Ma Kuan. And coincidentally, Boss Ma, the agent of Tunwan Delivery, is also here. Boss Ma, please check his delivery records from yesterday. Ma Kuan takes out his phone, checks, and confirms. Young Master Fong is correct. He did receive a 1-star bad rating yesterday. The reason, extremely poor attitude. He threw the delivery on the ground. Hearing this, the guests look at Ye Chen with disgust. Wow, what a filthy mindset. Exactly. People from the bottom are all like sewer rats. So this was just revenge for a bad rating. How low class. Listening to everything, Ye Chen looks straight at Jiao and asks, why did I throw that delivery on the ground? Won't you help explain that? But Jiao immediately shifts the blame onto him. That happened because you're not hardworking. Your tolerance is too weak. Hearing this, Ye Chen bursts into loud laughter. Wow! Not hardworking? Weak tolerance? Inside, he feels bitter. What expectations do I still have from such a selfish woman? He then turns serious and asks everyone. You say I looked for women outside. Do you have any evidence? Old Madame Wong looks sharply at Jiao. Terrified, Jiao shakes her head in denial. With no evidence, old Madame Wong changes the topic. Fine. Since there's no proof, we'll end this matter here. But you beating my grandson, this won't end so easily. Ye Chen responds calmly. He attacked me with a knife at the entrance of Luyun residential community. There are cameras, and the security can testify. I was simply defending myself within the law. He then directly challenges her. If you want to pursue this further, let's call the police. If I go in, I guarantee he won't escape either. Hearing this, old Madame Wong trembles with fury. So after eating the Wong family's food for 3 years, you've become quite capable, haven't you? She sneers. After hitting my grandson, is your next step hitting me? Ye Chen replies calmly. Old Madame Wong, I have always respected you. I promise. As long as Wang Xiaojia doesn't provoke me in the future, I won't touch him. Then he states his final request. I only have one request. I hope you allow Wang Jiao and me to divorce. Hearing the word divorce, old Madame Wang sneers angrily. Good. Very good. She announces loudly. Everyone here knows that 3 years ago, the Wang family accepted this live-in son-in-law. This marriage was arranged by my late husband, she continues. Although Jiao was unhappy these past 3 years, her parents asked me many times for a divorce. I refused every time, to fulfill the last wish of an elder. The guests whisper among themselves. She then declares proudly. My granddaughter Wang Jiao is known as Yinzhou's #1 beauty. Who is worthy of whom, I don't need to explain. Finally, she announces her decision. Today, Ye Chen hit my grandson and slandered my granddaughter and a friend of the Fong family. I have decided. I will no longer honor my late husband's last wish, she shouts. From this moment on, Ye Chen is no longer the Wang family's son-in-law. He is expelled from the Wang family immediately. The moment this is said, Ji Qiang orders the waiters. Serve drinks to everyone. The atmosphere instantly changes. Wine is served, and as expected, the guests congratulate the Wang family enthusiastically. Congratulations, old Madame Wang. Congratulations, Jiao. Laughter fills the hall. Good riddance to a useless man. Now you can finally find someone worthy of Jiao. It's clear, they never truly considered Ye Chen part of the family. Amid the celebration, Jiao's mother, Su Lan, steps forward and grabs attention. Thank you, everyone. Actually, I have good news to share. Proudly, she announces. Jiao and Ye Chen have slept separately for 3 years. He has never even touched her hand. She emphasizes loudly. Jiao is still a virgin. Hearing this, Jiao turns red with embarrassment. Mom! But Ye Chen thinks calmly, this is nothing but business. He understands clearly. Jiao is being treated like merchandise, evaluated so she can be sold to the highest bidder. They are flaunting her virginity to increase her market value. Ye Chen picks up a wine glass, but not to drink. He extends it toward Jiao and makes one last sarcastic remark. Congratulations, Wang Jiao. You can finally find a man who is worthy of you. Hearing this, Jiao regains her old arrogance. She believes Ye Chen is still afraid of losing her. If you kneel down right now and beg me, she says coldly, maybe I'll ask Grandma to delay the divorce. Ye Chen responds with fury and hatred. You betrayed me, and now you want me to kneel and beg you? At this point, Jiao has lost all dignity in Ye Chen's eyes. He flips the wine glass over, pouring the wine onto the ground, a direct insult. Then he says coldly, You're not worth it. Inside, she screams, Ye Chen, this low, worthless man, has he gone insane? He's openly rebelling. Burning with rage and humiliation, she starts to shout. But suddenly stops herself. She turns sharply toward her grandmother. She knows where the real power lies. Grandma, letting him go with just a divorce would be far too merciful, she complains. We can't let him off so easily. He humiliated our family. Standing nearby, Shaji, who already hated Ye Chen, seizes the opportunity and nods vigorously. Sister Jia is absolutely right. We must teach him a lesson. Just look at my face. This isn't just my injury. This is an attack on the Wong family. Seeing her grandson wounded and her granddaughter disgraced, old Madame Wang's resolve hardens completely. For her, this is no longer about divorce. This is about the Wong family's honor. Don't worry, she declares coldly. Bullying the Wong family is not that easy. Then she raises her voice and addresses all the guests present. Everyone here, listen carefully. This man, Ye Chen, wasted 3 precious years of my granddaughter's youth. Not only that, he beat my grandson and betrayed our trust, she continues, her voice heavy with authority. My Wong family has been established in Yuzhou for many years. We have reputation and dignity here. If we let him leave unpunished, people will think we've grown weak. Then she makes her demand. All of you are influential figures from different industries in Yuzhou. I ask for your help. Cut off every possible source of his income. Let him understand the consequences of crossing the Wong family. As soon as she finishes, whispers erupt throughout the hall. So the Wong family wants to destroy his livelihood? That means they want him starving in Yuzhou. This is a direct strike at survival itself. Some shake their heads. A mere live-in son-in-law disgraced the Wong family and even asked for divorce. Of course they're furious. Others hesitate. But he's just a nobody. Isn't this like using an entire army to hunt a rabbit? Before the discussion can continue, a man steps forward, Fong Chiao. Unwilling to miss this chance to curry favor, he announces loudly. On behalf of the Fong family, I fully support the Wong family. The crowd immediately recognizes him. The eldest son of the Fong family. The largest affordable luxury hotel chain in Yuzhou. His support is massive. Fong Chiao steps closer to Ye Chen and threatens coldly. I guarantee that from today onward, no hotel below 4 stars in Yuzhou will allow you to check in. You won't even have a place to sleep. He smirks darkly, hatred burning in his eyes. In the future, I'll sleep with your wife and make you crawl and beg me, he thinks. I'll show you your place. As if competition has begun, another man steps forward. Everyone listen. An Zhongyi, owner of Lu Wei Lu, Shan Wai Shan, and Tian Tian restaurants. With confidence, he declares, I've been in Yuzhou's catering business for 20 years. I also support the Wong family. Whether you eat or starve in this city, that decision is mine. He continues firmly. With my connections, I guarantee you won't even get a part-time job in any restaurant. Forget being a waiter, you won't even wash dishes. Before he can step back, Magung rushes forward, unwilling to be left out. I'm Magung, general agent of Tuan Tuan Delivery in Yuzhou. I'll also cut off Ye Chen's livelihood. He stares straight at Ye Chen. Forget food delivery. Not just our company, you won't deliver for any platform. Every door is closed to you. Facing so many enemies, Ye Chen remains calm. He casually starts counting. Hotel service, food delivery, 2 industries blacklisted already. Then he looks up with a mocking smile. Any others left? If yes, come forward together. A man suddenly shouts. I'm the CEO of Golden Mind KTV. Don't even dream of working in any bar or KTV in Yuzhou. The entertainment industry has no place for you. Ye Chen bursts into laughter. To him, their efforts feel childish. Very good, he says. Anything else? Suddenly, Shaji realizes something terrifying. Wait. Ye Chen isn't ordinary. He's terrifying in a fight. He quickly warns the crowd. Be careful. This animal knows kung fu. His skills are extraordinary. He might apply to become a private bodyguard for wealthy families. We must block that path too, he shouts. Who here can influence all of Yuzhou's rich families? Silence falls over the hall. Yuzhou has countless wealthy people. No one dares claim control over all of them. Then, the scene shifts. Everyone notices a stunningly beautiful woman sitting elegantly on a sofa, completely detached from the chaos. Her presence alone sets her apart. Seeing her, Wang Jichang freezes in shock. Who is she? When did she arrive? Why didn't I notice? Realization strikes him. This is no ordinary guest. He rushes forward nervously. President Qin! When did you arrive? Please forgive me for not welcoming you at the door. I've made a terrible mistake. Magung, clueless, whispers. President Wong, who is this beauty? Ji-chang glares at him inwardly. You ignorant fool, not knowing her will cost you dearly. He announces proudly. This is Vice President Qin Hongyan of Huaxin Group. The hall erupts. What? The Vice President of Huaxin Group? That legendary figure? People whisper in awe. She personally signed international contracts worth hundreds of billions. She stands beneath one man, but above 10,000. Ye Chen looks at her calmly. Huaxin Group, my company, he thinks. So she works for me. Meanwhile, Wang Jichang desperately tries to impress her. If there's one person in Yuzhou who knows all the wealthy elites, he flatters, it's President Qin. Ma Gang eagerly agrees, but Qin Hongyan cuts him off sharply. It sounds like you're saying I have affairs with all of Yuzhou's rich men, she says coldly. Watch your words. Ma Gang panics and apologizes, but inside, his thoughts turn filthy. Ji Chang quickly pushes his agenda. President Qin, please help us cut off Ye Chan's income. One word from you is enough. Qin Hongyan pulls out a cigarette and places it between her lips. Every man rushes forward with a lighter. She ignores them all. Then she points directly at Ye Chen. You! Come here! Gasps fill the hall. Her? Him? Ye Chen asks calmly. What do you want? Light my cigarette, she orders. Everyone is stunned. Ye Chen replies flatly. I don't have a lighter. Shock deepens. Qin Hongyan walks up to him, standing impossibly close. Name? She asks. Ye Chen. She smiles faintly and places her hand on his chest. Qin Hongyan fully takes advantage of her position and puts forward an offer right in front of Ye Chen. Ye Chen, just because your surname is the same as that of our newly appointed president of Huaxing Group, I'm willing to give you a chance to survive. She slowly scans him from head to toe, judging him openly, then adds, If I look carefully, you actually look quite decent. Listen to my request, and I'll hire you as my personal bodyguard. How does that sound? The moment she says this, the entire hall explodes. The atmosphere changes instantly. People start shouting and whispering at the same time. President Qin is trying to save that boy Ye Chen. Why? But it doesn't stop there. People start thinking deeper. Becoming the personal bodyguard of such a stunning beauty. Did President Qin actually fall for him? While the crowd is shocked, Jiao, standing far away, is already burning with anger. Confusion and jealousy twist her face. Inside her mind, only one thought keeps repeating: what exactly is Qin Hongyan trying to do? At the same time, Wang Jiqian's brain suddenly rings an alarm bell. He realizes something shocking. The new president's surname, it's also Yi? Without wasting a second, he blurts out. President Qin, the new president of Huaxing Group. May I know his full name? Hearing this direct question, Qin Hongyan instantly becomes defensive. The truth is, she doesn't know the name herself. But she hides her ignorance perfectly and replies confidently. Sorry. President Yi doesn't want too many people to know about him for now. Outwardly calm, inwardly she's panicking. Damn it, even I don't know the mysterious president's name. If this gets exposed, I'll become a joke. Seeing her forced confidence, Ye Chen smiles inwardly. She definitely doesn't know my identity, he thinks. Otherwise, she wouldn't have asked me to light her cigarette earlier. Understanding the situation clearly, Ye Chen asks calmly. President Qin, how exactly do you plan to secure my livelihood? Qin Hongyan answers without hesitation and sets a condition. As long as you kneel down and separately apologize to old Madam Wong, Wang Xiaojie, and your wife, I'll step in and protect you. After that, I'll officially hire you as my personal bodyguard. Annual salary, 200,000. The moment this offer is announced, whispers erupt again. So President Qin is really trying to save Ye Chen? Why? Someone starts calculating excitedly. Just kneel, apologize, avoid being blacklisted, and become the bodyguard of President Qin? This bastard will definitely agree. Hearing this, Jiao's anger skyrockets. She clenches her teeth. What's wrong with this woman? Why is she targeting Ye Chen again and again? She immediately runs to her grandmother and complains. Grandma, President Qin is clearly going against us. But old Madam Wang's reaction is completely unexpected. Instead of being angry, she looks impressed and says, Humph. This woman is a high-level player. No wonder she became Huaxing's vice president at such a young age. Then she explains calmly to Jiao. Look carefully. She never easily offends anyone. And she has the ability to make any man both grateful and obsessed. At this point, everyone believes Ye Chen will accept this golden offer. But suddenly, Ye Chen's expression turns ice cold. Without hesitation, he replies, I refuse. Those two simple words stun the entire hall. Jiao's eyes widen. Qin Hongyan can't believe her ears. Anger and frustration explode as she shouts. Say that again! Inside her mind, she screams, this useless live-in son-in-law actually rejected me. In front of everyone? Suddenly, the scene flips. Ye Chen strides forward, closes the distance in an instant, and grabs Qin Hongyan's ear. Pulling it hard, he shouts. I said I refuse! Ah! Qin Hongyan screams in pain. Her ear turns red instantly, pain and humiliation flashing across her face. Seeing this, Wang Jiqiang completely loses control. He points at Ye Chen and roars. How dare you touch President Qin? Ye Chen remains relaxed and mocks calmly. I thought President Qin couldn't hear well, so I spoke closer to her ear. This blatant insult pushes Qin Hongyan past her limit. She glares at him coldly. Very good, Ye Chen. You do have guts. Inside, she's boiling. This useless son-in-law doesn't even know what's good for him. She turns toward old Madame Wong and announces loudly. Old Madame Wong, I, Qin Hongyan, Vice President of Huaxing Group, officially support the Wong family. From this moment on, I will block every single path for Ye Chen to survive in Yunzhou. As soon as this declaration is made, the guests burst into laughter. One man sneers. Ye Chen is nothing but trash. Even becoming a bodyguard was already too much for him. Another adds mockingly. In the future, you won't even have a chance to stay alive in Yunzhou. Hearing this, Jiao feels satisfied. She thinks coldly, you did this to yourself. You should have just endured everything quietly. Just when everyone thinks Ye Chen has lost completely, he suddenly asks calmly. President Qin, may I ask? Was what you just said a personal decision, or does it represent Huaxing Group? Without hesitation, Qin Hongyan answers confidently. Of course, it represents both. Ye Chen immediately traps her with logic. You're only the vice president, not the president. What right do you have to represent Huaxing Group's stance? The crowd starts whispering again. He's right. President Qin isn't the highest authority. Legally speaking, she can't decide on behalf of the president. And they don't even have a close relationship. Realizing she's cornered, Qin Hongyan panics. To protect herself and her reputation, she decides to tell a huge lie. Fine. I didn't want to say this originally. But since you want to die knowing the truth, I'll tell you. She raises her chin proudly. The newly appointed President Yi of Huaxing Group is my lover. Boom. The real President Yi, Ye Chen himself, is completely stunned. What the hell? When did I become your lover? What? Ye Chen blurts out. Qin Hongyan insists coldly. I said President Yi is my lover. Inside, Ye Chen fumes. Don't you feel ashamed calling me your lover to my face? The hall erupts again. So the mysterious President Yi is actually President Qin's boyfriend. No wonder she suddenly appeared in Yunzhou. Only someone of President Yi's level is worthy of her. A perfect match. Someone mocks Ye Chen loudly. Trash Ye Chen. The lovers represent the Huaxing Group together. Of course she can speak for him. Another warns. You dare to question President Qin's authority? You're courting death. Hearing this, Wang Jiqiang finally relaxes. He flatters immediately. President Qin, why didn't you say this earlier? If President Yi is your lover, then we're at ease. Inside, he's already celebrating. Since President Qin is President Yi's lover, that 70 million financing is basically guaranteed. Qin Hongyan pretends to be shy and adds to her lie. My boyfriend is very serious about work. He always keeps business and personal life separate. She then turns to the crowd and requests. So I hope everyone here can help keep this matter a secret. Watching her act, Ye Chen almost laughs out loud. She showed off earlier, and now she's scared people might leak it. Seeing him smile, Qin Hongyan snaps. What are you laughing at? Ye Chen smirks and fires back. I heard President Yi is extremely rich, handsome, and talented. President Qin, you're somewhat good-looking, but are you really his type? Her ego shatters instantly. She doubles down arrogantly. President Yi fell in love with me at first sight. He even rented an entire island in Southeast Asia, arranged a grand confession ceremony, and begged me to be his girlfriend. The crowd gasps in awe, but Ye Chen, the real president, is speechless. Damn, this woman really knows how to fabricate stories. Tired of this pointless argument, he says coldly. Enough. I'm done arguing with you. He turns to Jiao and declares firmly. Jiao, let's go to the Civil Affairs Bureau now. And start the divorce process. Jiao replies angrily. Fine. Let's go. But Wang Xiaojie blocks their path, sneering. Don't rush. At least stay for the birthday banquet. He mocks further. When the feast starts later, we'll even reserve a bowl for you at the door. After all, after eating, you'll be leaving Yunzhou for good. Then he turns to Ma Kun and laughs. I still haven't thanked you. That scene where you stripped Ye Chen outside. Classic. Like training a dog. Ma Kun laughs smugly. Young Master Wang, you're too polite. If I knew earlier, I'd have recorded it. Dog training videos like that are rare. Hearing their arrogance, Ye Chen makes a final decision. Enough. This ends now. He pulls out his phone and dials a special number. An old man's respectful voice answers. Third young master, Ye Chen asks calmly. That man who delivers food and insists on feeding my grandfather. What was his name again? The old man replies immediately. Are you referring to Wang Xiahong, CEO of Taunton Delivery? That's him. Ye Chen orders coldly. Contact him immediately. Tell him to revoke Yunzhou's Taunton agency, effective now. Everyone nearby is stunned. They can't believe what they're hearing. The old man continues respectfully. He's always wanted to meet the old master. He'll be honored to do this. His net worth exceeds 50 billion now. He's qualified to dine with the old master. Ye Chen nods slightly. He's made decent progress these past years. Arrange a meeting with me another day. I'll treat him. Yes, young master. As Ye Chen hangs up, dead silence fills the hall. No one knows whether that was real or a joke. Suddenly, Wang Xiaojie bursts into laughter. Ye Chen, what kind of drama is this? Revoking Boss Ma's agency? Who do you think you are? Ma Kun sneers. Kid, choose a better time to show off. Who would be afraid of fake nonsense like this? He even insults Ye Chen's grandfather. Your grandpa is just a farmer. CEO Wang is worth billions. You think he'll eat with your grandpa? You're living in a dream. Jiao glares in disgust. If you don't have the ability, just admit it. Why put on such a disgusting act? But Qin Hongyan doesn't laugh. Her eyes stay fixed on Ye Chen. Something feels wrong. Suddenly, Ma Kun's phone rings. He looks at the screen and shouts excitedly. It's CEO Wong! He answers eagerly. CEO Wong! I was just planning to call you. To discuss contract renewal. But the voice on the other end is furious. I'm calling to inform you. Your Yunzhou agency qualification has been revoked immediately. Boom. Ma Kun's world collapses. His legs go weak as shock freezes him in place. The moment he hears those words, the ground seems to vanish beneath Ma Kun's feet. It feels like his entire world has been flipped upside down. My agency, cancelled? Panic slams into him. Cold sweat pours down his back as his eyes dart around the room. No. This can't be happening. Not here. Not now. So many people are watching. And worse, Qin Hongyan is here. If the truth comes out, the consequences will be disastrous. He'd be worse off than Chen, the same Chen who was thrown out of this birthday party like a stray dog. Terrified of losing the last shred of his dignity, Ma Kun forces a fake smile onto his face and raises his voice so everyone can hear. Thank you, CEO Wu. That's exactly what I was saying. Given our friendship, we should definitely continue working together. I've even prepared the renewal fee for you. A full 8 million. But CEO Wu's reply is ice cold. Sorry, Boss Ma. The company has decided to send someone from the head office to handle Yuzhou directly. We no longer need agents. Ma Kun keeps acting, desperately trying to hide his panic. No problem, no problem. When we meet, we'll drink all night. That's when CEO Wu finally explodes. Didn't you hear what I said clearly? Your agency is gone. No matter how much money you throw at it now, it's useless. By now, fear is written all over Ma Gung's face. Sweat drips down his temples. Yet he refuses to drop the act. Still smiling stiffly, he says, "All right, CEO Wu, please don't worry. We'll definitely do good business together in the future." The sheer amount of nonsense pushes CEO Wu over the edge. Are you insane? Why are you still talking nonsense? Listen carefully. When the contract expires next month, the head office will send someone directly. Click. The call ends. And yet Ma Gung keeps talking to the air. All right, CEO Wu. We'll talk when we meet. The whole performance leaves Chen slightly stunned. What is this clown doing? He wonders whether Butler Fong has already contacted Wang Xiam. Just then, Shaji, completely unaware of the truth, walks over. Boss Ma, from that call, it sounds like the renewal went smoothly. Ma Gung is already broken inside, but he keeps up the confident facade. Of course. Everything went perfectly. Delighted, Shaji lifts his glass. Boss Ma, let me toast you. May money rain down on you endlessly. Ma Gung raises the glass and downs it in one go. But as he drinks, tears silently stream down his face. Thank you? Young Master Wong. Chen, watching from a short distance, notices the tears in Ma Gung's eyes. Meanwhile, Shaji laughs loudly. Boss Ma really is generous. Finished it in one shot. But Qin Hongyan sees the tears clearly. Boss Ma, why are you crying? Are you okay? Afraid of being exposed, Ma Gung quickly makes up an excuse. I'm fine. The drink was just too strong, it burned my throat. That's when Chen finally steps forward. Boss Ma, big words depend on the occasion. What's the point of acting anymore? Everyone can see you're putting on a show. Why don't you just admit it? Your agency has already been cancelled. Ma Gung's rage explodes. This brat just stomped my dignity into the dirt. Clinging to his last shred of pride, he roars. So what if it's gone? The company just wants to take control directly. This has nothing to do with trash like you. Chen merely smiles faintly. If you believe that, fine. I'm not interested in making another enemy anyway. Those words stab straight into Ma Gung's ego. Who do you think you are? What qualifications do you even have? You're nothing but a filthy delivery boy. The atmosphere instantly turns heated. Guests whisper among themselves. Did Boss Ma really lose his agency because of Chen? No way. Chen is just a useless live-in son-in-law. But what if it's true? What if we mock the wrong person? Sensing the chaos, Jia Yao's mother steps in to control the situation. Everyone calm down. What happened to Boss Ma has nothing to do with this useless son-in-law. His family is from the countryside. His grandfather is a farmer. It's impossible for him to know someone like CEO Wu. The Wong family quickly agrees. Exactly. He's been living in our family for 3 years as a house husband. If he really had powerful connections, would he live like a dog for 3 years? Another relative laughs. Rich young masters are delicate. They can't endure hardship. How could someone like that survive 3 years as a live-in son-in-law? It's ridiculous. At that moment, old Madame Wong signals the security guards. They surround Ma Gung and begin escorting him out. Mr. Ma, please come this way. Unable to accept the humiliation, Ma Gung shouts. Wait. I brought rare vintage wine. The guard shoves the wine back into his hands. Please take your wine with you. Wait. Old Madame Wong. President Wong. His voice fades as he's dragged out. Watching the farce, Chen thinks coldly. The Wong family, these people, all of them are the same. No wonder Wang Jiayao betrayed me for money. To ease the tension, Ji Chang makes an announcement. Guests, please take your seats. Enjoy some soup and snacks first. The party will officially begin shortly. Everyone heads to the dining area, but a different tension brews there. Jia Yao walks up to Chen and says coldly, After dinner, we're getting divorced. Remember, don't let it affect Grandma's 80th birthday. Chen sits down calmly, without reacting. Fine. I'll wait until you finish eating. Just as he's about to start, a small accident happens. His spoon lightly bumps into the spoon of the woman sitting across from him. She instantly screams. Ugh! How annoying! My spoon touched that useless trash's spoon! It's dirty now! Chen ignores her tantrum and looks at her soup instead. Papaya soup, for breast enhancement. He glances at her well-developed figure and casually remarks. You probably don't need papaya anyway. The woman freezes, then turns red with rage. What do you mean by that? Why wouldn't I need it? Chen cuts it off. Forget it. Pretend I didn't say anything. Here, have the soup. His indifference infuriates her. This house husband won't even look me in the eye. She storms over to old Madame Wong. Grandma, don't let Chen eat here anymore. He didn't even prepare a birthday gift. What right does he have to eat at your party? Old Madame Wong responds sternly, protecting the family's reputation. The Wong family has standards. Let him finish his meal. After that, he'll leave and proceed with the divorce. The woman still argues. But it's your 80th birthday, and he didn't bring a gift. Hearing that, Chen recalls the past 3 years. If old Madame Wong hadn't insisted on no divorce for 3 years, my mission would have failed long ago. He makes a decision. I'm officially leaving the Wong family today. And since it's her 80th birthday, I should give a gift. He pulls out his phone and dials a number. Prepare a gift for me. Deliver it to Manhua Hotel. Seeing this, Jia Yao scoffs. What? Now you remember shame? Our family won't accept your trash. She sneers inwardly. A man living off his wife, what could he possibly give? Stop embarrassing yourself. She snaps. Call them back and cancel it. If Grandma needs a gift, I'll arrange one for you. Chen ignores her and keeps eating. That finally sets her off. Hey! Did you hear what I said? 10 minutes pass. Suddenly, hurried footsteps echo at the entrance. A delivery boy with a bag tries to enter, but a guard stops him. Sorry. Today is a Wong family event. Outsiders aren't allowed. I'm here to deliver a birthday gift. The delivery boy explains. Allowed in, he asks. May I know whose birthday it is today? Seeing a stranger, Shaji snaps. Why is another delivery guy here? This is my grandma's party. Who let you in? The delivery boy hurriedly explains. I met a Rolls-Royce owner on the road. He wanted to come himself, but traffic was terrible. He gave me 500 yuan and asked me to deliver this gift to Manhua Hotel. The moment Shaji hears Rolls-Royce owner, his anger vanishes, replaced by greed. Oh? So this must be for my grandma. Give it to me. He grabs the box and opens it in front of everyone. The instant the lid lifts, his eyes go wide. A green glow spills out. Is that? He screams in shock. Top-grade ice jade! Completely transparent! The best of the best! This bracelet is worth at least 10 million! The hall erupts. A 10 million yuan gift, delivered casually by a delivery boy. Who is this tycoon? And while everyone is losing their minds, Chen, the man who ordered the gift, sits calmly and continues eating. So, just like we saw in the previous episode, the moment that box is opened, an extremely precious jet bracelet is revealed inside. The instant everyone lays eyes on it, every single person present is left wide-eyed in shock. In the very next moment, the entire hall is buzzing with nothing but discussions about that bracelet. The guests and family members simply can't hide their amazement anymore. Voices rise everywhere as people excitedly talk over one another. This jet bracelet instantly becomes the most expensive and valuable gift among everything presented today. Hearing this, everyone's curiosity skyrockets. One by one, their gazes turn toward old Madame Wong, and someone finally asks, Old Madame Wong, who exactly is the person who sent such a generous gift? You must introduce us to them later. But this is where the story takes an unexpected twist. Old Madame Wong herself is staring at the bracelet with a confused expression. Holding it in her hands, she slowly says, "To be honest, even this old lady isn't very clear about it." The entire hall instantly falls into suspense. The guests begin whispering among themselves. Every single member connected to the Wong family is present today. No one is missing. So then, who on earth sent this bracelet? At that moment, from within the crowd, Chen's sister-in-law, Wan Yuan, stares greedily at the sparkling bracelet. Her eyes shine as she thinks, "What a beautiful bracelet." Then, with full confidence, she speaks up in front of everyone. "Could it be that one of my admirers sent this?" The moment she says that, the same thought starts circling in everyone's mind. Yeah, that's possible. After all, Wan Yuan has an incredibly hot figure. Any man who sees her would probably lose sleep that night. She's only 20 years old and doesn't even have a boyfriend. In fact, she's the target of many wealthy young masters who all want to date her. Hearing this, Yuan's father, Ye Chen, puffs out his chest proudly. Nodding eagerly, he says, "Absolutely. The chances are very high. My daughter is that beautiful. She has millions of fans online. This must have been sent by some rich young master who likes Yuan." After that, Qin Hongyan also chimes in with a smile. "Then congratulations in advance, President Wong. Your future son-in-law is truly generous, to send a gift worth tens of millions." Ji Chang beams with joy and hurriedly replies, "Oh, stop it, President Qin. You're embarrassing me." All of this drama is quietly watched by Chen from the side. There's a faint smile on his face as he thinks to himself, they'd rather blindly guess and believe that this bracelet came from one of Yuan's lovers, than accept that I'm the one who sent it. With that thought, Ye Chen finally stands up. Turning toward Jiayao, he calmly asks, "Jiayao, have you eaten?" Jiayao looks at him in surprise and replies coldly, "I've eaten." "Why?" Ye Chen takes a deep breath, then finally says the words he's been holding in for so long. "Since you've eaten, and I've already given my gift, let's go to the Civil Affairs Bureau and get divorced. Right now." Jiayao is completely stunned. Shocked, she blurts out, "Wait, what did you just say? You gave a gift? When did you give a gift?" Without hesitation, Ye Chen points straight at the jet bracelet that has become the center of attention and says, "It's right there. That bracelet is my gift." The moment those words fall, it's as if a bomb explodes in the hall. Ji Chang turns red with rage and roars, "You're shameless! That bracelet is worth tens of millions. You couldn't earn that kind of money in 7 lifetimes. How dare you claim you sent it?" Yuan jumps in immediately, curling her lips in disdain. "Sister Jia, can you please stop your loser husband from making a bigger fool of himself? It's obvious this was sent by one of my suitors." Standing nearby, Shijia also seizes the chance to humiliate Ye Chen. "Our family of 4 couldn't even give a decent birthday gift. And now he comes out trying to steal credit for someone else's present. He's truly disgraced the Wong family." Immediately after that, Jiayao, furious, snaps at Ye Chen, "Let's go. Right now. We're going to the Civil Affairs Bureau. I don't want to be the wife of a loser like you for even one more second." But before leaving, Ye Chen turns one last time to old Madame Wong and says calmly, "Old Madame Wong, for 3 years, good times or bad, we were family. I give this bracelet to you. Happy birthday." Old Madame Wong waves her hand impatiently and snaps, "That's enough. Stop this nonsense and get out of here. Quit showing off. This live-in son-in-law has truly embarrassed our family." From behind, Shijia shouts threateningly, "Ye Chen, after the divorce, take a train and get out of Yuzhou. I don't ever want to see you here again." Ye Chen turns back and replies coldly, "Whether I leave Yuzhou or not is my freedom. You have no right to interfere." And with that, he walks away. Outside the hotel, Ye Chen spots a BMW parked nearby, with Fong Chiao and Jiayao sitting inside. Fong Chiao mocks him openly. "Kid, Jolin said you're not even qualified to sit in a BMW. Take a shared bike instead. We'll wait for you at the gate of the Civil Affairs Bureau." With that, he speeds off, leaving Ye Chen alone. But Ye Chen calmly raises his hand, flags down a taxi, and says, "Hello? Civil Affairs Bureau, please." A short while later, the scene shifts inside the Civil Affairs Bureau. The atmosphere is quiet. The officer at the counter hands them the documents and says formally, "Here are your divorce certificates." The moment Ye Chen takes the certificate into his hands, he lets out a relieved breath. Finally, I have the divorce certificate. After 3 years, I'm no longer a live-in son-in-law. Looking at the certificate, he immediately begins planning his next move. Next trial, business. From now on, I'll focus fully on my career. But Jiao sneers. That's right. You're no longer a live-in son-in-law. Now you're a discarded son-in-law, which is even more shameful. Ye Chen replies without stopping. Say whatever you want. I have nothing to do with you anymore. He gets into the taxi and leaves. Behind him, Jiao is still furious. Watching the taxi drive away, she screams, "Ye Chen! You're a useless, abandoned son-in-law!" In anger, Jiao and Fong Chiao jump back into their car. Sitting down, Jiao orders, "Fong Chiao, drive. Follow him. See if he's leaving Yuzhou." Fong Chiao immediately starts the engine and chases after the taxi. Confidently, he says, "He's definitely going to catch a train and leave. He can't survive in Yuzhou anymore. He has no savings. If he doesn't leave, what, will he live on air?" Jiao hesitates and says, "That makes sense, but looking at his expression earlier, I feel like it's not that simple." After following for a while, Fong Chiao frowns. "This road, it's not toward the train station." Jiao asks sharply, "Is it the airport?" Fong Chiao shakes his head. "No. This goes toward the Shishan district." Jiao mutters, "Could it be that he doesn't plan to leave Yuzhou at all?" Fong Chiao laughs dismissively. "He's probably just looking for a cheap hotel. Don't worry. The Wong family controls the hotel industry here. I guarantee he won't even get a room in a 4-star hotel." 10 minutes later, the scene shifts again. They arrive outside the Westlake Four Seasons Hotel. Ye Chen steps out of his taxi. At the same time, Fong Chiao and Jiao arrive. Seeing him there, Fong Chiao scoffs. "Damn it, did this guy come here to apply for a waiter job?" Jiao snaps angrily. At the birthday banquet, young Master Sun already blocked his path to becoming a waiter. And he still dares to come here? He clearly doesn't care about the Wong family's influence. Fong Chiao pulls out his phone smugly. "He doesn't believe in my power, huh? Fine. I'll make a call." He dials and says arrogantly, "Hello, little Chang. You're still the manager at Westlake, right? I have a task for you. A guy named Ye Chen went to your hotel to apply for a job. Don't hire him." But the next second, his face goes pale. "What?" Seeing his expression, Jiao panics. "What happened?" Fong Chiao lowers his phone, stunned. "He said, no one went there to apply for a job." Confused, Fong Chiao mutters, "If Ye Chen didn't apply for a job, then why did he go inside?" Suddenly, a thought hits him. "Don't tell me, he went there to stay?" Jiao immediately denies it. "Impossible. Westlake costs at least 8,000 per night. I already confiscated all his bank cards during the divorce. He only has a few hundred in cash and a 2,000 credit limit." To clear things up, Fong Chiao says, "Let's go inside and ask little Chang directly." Scene shifts to the hotel lobby. As soon as they enter, the receptionist explains, "Brother Chow, the Ye Chen you mentioned did check in just now. He prepaid for 7 days." Hearing that, Fong Chiao feels the ground disappear beneath his feet. 7 days? He quickly calculates. 8,000 a night, 7 days, that's 56,000. Grinding his teeth, he snarls, "That bastard hid private money. Jiao, he must have skimmed money from groceries and daily expenses. Shameless, stealing even that much." But then the receptionist gently interrupts. "Sir, Mr. Ye Chen didn't stay in a standard room, he booked the presidential suite." Boom! Fong Chiao and Jiao are struck like by 440 volts. "What?" Fong Chiao stammers. The Westlake presidential suite is 80,000 a night, 7 days. That's 560,000. He turns to Jiayao in shock. Jiayao, are you sure that money came from your family's expenses? To turn his suspicion into certainty, Fong Chiao immediately spun around toward the receptionist and asked in disbelief. Are you sure? Did Ye Chen really just pay the full 5,600 right now? The receptionist nodded calmly. Yes, sir. The payment has been completed. But her very next sentence was like rubbing salt into an open wound. Smiling brightly, she added, and not only that, he was so happy that he even gave me a 10,000 tip. The moment Jiayao heard that, her anger completely exploded. She snapped, shouting, How dare you keep that tip? That money belongs to my Wong family, do you understand? While Jiayao was throwing a full-blown tantrum, Fong Chiao quickly stepped in and tried to calm her down with logic. His expression turned serious. Jiayao, this isn't the time to cry over a tip. The real question is, where did he get so much money from? Even if he stole vegetable money for 3 whole years, there's no way he could save up 1 million. Those words made Jiayao freeze. She went silent, then suddenly, her eyes lit up. Wait. She remembered something. He often used to go to my grandmother's house to look after her dog, and you know my grandmother. Her house is filled with old, valuable antiques. What if he secretly stole 1 or 2 antiques and sold them? The moment she said it, Fong Chiao immediately agreed. That must be it. Call your family right now. Tell them to check if anything is missing. Without wasting a second, Jiayao pulled out her phone. Meanwhile, over at the Manhua Hotel banquet hall, the atmosphere was completely different. It was already very late, yet President Tang and the other big guests still hadn't left. Everyone was waiting for just one thing: who was the mysterious person who sent that outrageously expensive bracelet? They all wanted to catch a glimpse of this secret figure. At the same time, Qin Hongyan was growing restless. She kept glancing toward the entrance, her brows tightening. So much time has passed. Why hasn't the gift sender shown up yet? Even with traffic, he should have arrived by now. A troubling thought suddenly crossed her mind. Could it be that bracelet was actually sent by Ye Chen? Just then, Jiayao's mother's phone rang inside the hall. Seeing daughter on the screen, she picked up casually. Hello, dear, how did everything go? The divorce with that loser is done, right? But Jiayao's voice on the other end was filled with panic and fury. Mom, go to Grandma's house right now. Check if any of her old calligraphy or paintings are missing. Then she screamed, accusing. That bastard Ye Chen definitely stole our family's things and sold them for money. Hearing this, her mother nearly lost her balance. What? That loser stole your grandmother's antiques? Her loud voice didn't go unnoticed. Qin Hongyan heard every word. She took a deep breath, as if all her curiosity had finally been answered. Exhaling cigarette smoke slowly, she thought to herself, damn. I thought that guy was some big shot. Turns out he's just a petty thief. Her interest vanished instantly. She stood up and said calmly, Old Madam Wong, President Wong, I have some urgent matters at the company. I'll be taking my leave. Old Madam Wong immediately stood as well, speaking respectfully. President Qin, the financing matter is now in your hands. Qin Hongyan nodded lightly. Don't worry. And with that, she left. The moment she was gone, the rest of the guests understood. That mysterious tycoon wasn't coming tonight. One by one, they all began to leave. Once the hall emptied, old Madam Wang, furious and confused, demanded, What did Jiayao say? Why did she only find out after the divorce that Ye Chen stole something? Jiayao's mother explained angrily. She said Ye Chen booked the presidential suite at Westlake Hotel for an entire week. He spent nearly 600,000. That's why they suspect the money came from selling your antiques. Old Madam Wang slammed her hand on the table. That useless live-in son-in-law! But even then, she was still thinking about the bracelet sender. She forced herself to calm down and said firmly, The honored guest who sent that bracelet still hasn't arrived. We cannot lose such a huge opportunity because of that trash. She immediately split the family into two groups. Ji Chang, Su Xian, Yun Lian, you stay here with me. We'll wait a little longer. Then she turned to the others. Xiao Jie Jiuan, Su Lan, you go to my house right now and check what's missing. Everyone answered together. Yes. Scene shift. At the Wong family villa. Xiao Jie, Jia Yao's father, and her mother arrived and immediately began searching the house. After 20 minutes of checking every corner, nothing was missing. Xiao Jie frowned. There's nothing gone. The uncle walked over and confirmed. Same here. Everything's intact. Did you find anything? Xiao Jie fell into deep thought. The calligraphy room is fine. This room too. That means nothing was stolen. The truth was clear. Ye Chen hadn't stolen anything. But Xiao Jie's hatred overpowered logic. He didn't want to clear Ye Chen's name. So he lied. Oh. I haven't finished checking yet. You should search again, just in case something was missed. The uncle nodded. All right. The moment the uncle left, a filthy idea formed in Xiao Jie's mind. He walked to a shelf and picked up an extremely expensive watch. Holding it, he sneered to himself. This was Grandpa's watch. Only 48 pieces exist worldwide. Worth over 5 million. A sinister smile spread across his face. Ye Chen, from today onward, you're the thief who stole this watch. He slipped the watch into his pocket, walked out holding the empty box, and suddenly shouted. My room! A watch is missing! Jia Yao's mother exploded in rage. So that's how that loser could afford the presidential suite. Without delay, Jia Yao's father called old Madame Wong. Mom, we found it. Grandpa's Richard Mille watch is gone. On the other end, old Madame Wong trembled with terrifying fury. Bring him to me. I want to cut off his hand today. But the moment Xiao Jie heard Ye Chen's name again, his legs went weak. The memory of being beaten last time flashed in his mind. I don't want to get beaten again, he immediately started acting. My injury hurts so badly. I need to go to the hospital first. Uncle, you go ahead. I'll come later. Before anyone could stop him, he ran away. Left with no choice, Jia Yao's father called Jia Yao. Are you still at Westlake Hotel? Scene shift. Westlake Hotel. On the phone, Jia Yao froze. What? Grandpa's Richard Mille watch is missing? 5 million? I understand. She hung up. Fong Chiao asked nervously. What happened? Jia Yao clenched her teeth, eyes blazing. Ye Chen really did steal from my grandmother. Just wait, I'll make him pay. She stormed toward the receptionist and shouted. What's Ye Chen's room number? Fong Chiao panicked. Jia Yao, what are you planning to do? She snapped back. What do you think? I'm taking him back. He stole a 5 million watch. But Fong Chiao noticed something strange. She didn't look angry. She looked excited. Why do you look so excited? He asked suspiciously. Why does it feel like Wang Jia Yao actually wants to see Ye Chen? Worried about causing trouble, Fong Chiao tried to stop her. I can't afford to offend the owner of this hotel. Don't make a scene. Just call the police. She shoved him away. Why are you such a coward? If you're scared, stay here. And she went up alone. Scene shift. Presidential suite corridor. Jia Yao stood outside Ye Chen's door. She banged on it furiously, screaming. Ye Chen, you thief! Open the door right now! A moment later, the door opened. Ye Chen stood there, freshly out of the shower, wearing nothing but a towel. Annoyed, he said, You woman, why won't you stop bothering me? The divorce just happened and you're already here? But the moment Jia Yao saw him like that, her anger vanished. Her face turned completely red. She stammered, Why you? Hello guys, welcome back. As we saw in the previous episode, Jia Yao stormed all the way to Ye Chen's room in a rage, and Ye Chen opened the door himself. But the moment the door opened, the scene turned completely different. Jia Yao had come to fight, yet the instant she saw Ye Chen's bare upper body, his firm physique and clearly defined abs, she froze on the spot. Her eyes widened in pure shock. Inside her mind, she couldn't help thinking, so Ye Chen actually has abs. In that very moment, embarrassment and regret hit her at the same time. She even thought to herself, if I had known earlier, I would have let him stay at home shirtless during summer. Ye Chen, however, completely ignored her reaction and asked coldly, "What exactly do you want?" Hearing his voice, Jia Yao snapped back to reality. To hide her embarrassment, she immediately changed the topic and accused him straight out. "Ye Chen, did you steal my grandma's Richard Mille watch?" Ye Chen was confused. "Which Richard Mille watch?" Jia Yao thought he was pretending, so she said angrily, "You're still acting innocent? A 5 million watch is missing from my grandma's house. It must be you. Otherwise, how could you afford to stay in a 5-star hotel's presidential suite? Even I've never stayed in a place this expensive." Listening to her nonsense, Ye Chen thought to himself, the Wong family really is something else. They take credit for all the good things, and when it comes to blame, they dump everything on me. He replied calmly, "Miss Wong, I have never taken even a needle or thread from your Wong family. Stealing a watch is out of the question. Please leave." The moment he called her Miss Wong, Jia Yao felt as if she had been struck by lightning. She stared at him in shock. "Miss Wong? He's never called me that before." Memories flooded back, how he used to call her my lady, wife, goddess, and promised to take her out to eat whenever he got his salary. This cold rejection and formality enraged her. She shouted, "Why are you in such a hurry to kick me out? Is there another woman in your room?" Ye Chen had reached his limit. He thought this woman was mentally unwell. Keeping his composure, he said, "Whether there's a woman inside or not has nothing to do with you. We're divorced. If you don't leave right now, I'll call security." Jia Yao's anger exploded. How dare Ye Chen reject me? She pulled out her phone and threatened, "I came to give you one last chance, to go home, admit your mistake, and accept Grandma's punishment so this matter could end here. But since you don't appreciate it, I'll file a police report." She dialed angrily. "Don't blame me later. For stealing 5 million, you'll get more than 15 years in prison." Ye Chen ignored her threats and shut the door. Outside, Jia Yao kept screaming, "If you kneel down and apologize right now." But the door was already locked. Inside the room, Ye Chen calmly dried his hair, looked at himself in the mirror, and laughed softly. Just because I loved her, I always knelt, always apologized. Since when did liking someone mean lowering yourself this much? Outside, Jia Yao continued banging on the door. "Ye Chen, open up! I've already called the police. Just wait for jail." The scene then shifts. When old Madame Wong heard that Jia Yao had called the police, she exploded. "What? Jia Yao called the police?" Jia Yao's mother immediately defended her. "Mom, Ye Chen must have refused to cooperate. That's why Jia Yao had no choice. Besides, he's no longer part of our family. We can't handle this with family justice anymore." Old Madame Wong snapped back. "Who told her to call the police? Family matters should be handled by us." Then she coldly added, "Forget it. Maybe Ye Chen is destined to rot in jail. That live-in son-in-law has already stained our family's name." 10 minutes later, the scene returns to the hotel. The police arrive and ask, "Are you Miss Wang Jia Yao? You reported that Ye Chen stole a 5 million watch from your family?" Seeing the police, Jia Yao immediately plays the victim. "Yes. Ye Chen was our live-in son-in-law. We just got divorced. He stole our family's watch and sold it. That's how he's been staying in this 5-star hotel's presidential suite for a week. He even hired a hooker." She urges them, "Comrades, arrest him and bring him down immediately." An officer orders the receptionist, "Call Ye Chen and tell him to come down." The receptionist nervously agrees and calls the room. The phone keeps ringing, but inside Ye Chen is fast asleep. When he doesn't answer, Jia Yao's suspicion turns into certainty. He didn't even pick up. He must be guilty. The two officers exchange looks and say together, Let's go upstairs and check. They take the elevator, reach Ye Chen's room, and ring the bell. When Ye Chen opens the door and sees the police, he's slightly surprised, but his face remains calm. The leading officer says, "Are you Mr. Ye Chen? I'm Director Li from the district police station. We received a report from Miss Wang Jiao accusing you of stealing a 5 million watch. Is this true?" Ye Chen answers confidently. "I took nothing from the Wong family." Director Li doesn't fully believe him. Scanning him up and down, he says skeptically, "Forgive me, but I heard you were once the Wong family's live-in son-in-law with little money, doing food delivery for the past 6 months. You received nothing in the divorce. Yet this presidential suite costs 80,000 per night, and you booked it for a week. If you didn't steal the watch, where did the money come from?" Without hesitation, Ye Chen turns around. "Wait a moment." He returns with documents, and places them in front of Director Li. "This is the equity transfer contract of Washing Group. I am now its largest shareholder, and the newly appointed CEO. He hands over a business card. "Here's my card." The moment the officers see it, they're stunned. This black background, yellow text. Swiss metal, diamonds embedded. Just this card alone costs 10,000 yuan. Another officer whispers, "This feels exaggerated. Could it be fake?" Director Li asks, "Can your information be verified on Sky? Ye Chen replies calmly, "The founder of Sky, Dr. Fong Chiao, is my second brother's university classmate. Since I haven't officially joined the office yet, I asked him to hide my data. If you trust Sky, I'll have it open temporarily." He makes a call. "Dr. Zhang, the police want to check my Sky profile. Please open it for 10 minutes. After hanging up, he says, "You can check now." The officers search Washing Group, and their eyes go wide. Ye Chen, CEO of Washing Group. Director Li still hesitates. Could this be hacking? Ye Chen sighs. "I didn't want to show off my wealth, but since you still don't believe me." He opens his banking app and shows them. "Here's my account. Take a look." The officer checks the balance and nearly loses his breath. Below the transactions. Available balance, over 10 billion. So many zeros. He blurts out, "This is 10 billion!" The chapter begins with Ye Chen still talking to the two police officers. As he listens to them, he starts thinking to himself. "Fortunately, when we got married, we signed a prenuptial property agreement. When we divorced, Wang Jiao never checked my real assets under my name." Then he calmly says to the two police comrades, "To be honest, this is just one of my cards. However, the money in this card alone, I'm afraid that even if you sold all of the Wong family's assets, it wouldn't amount to even half of what's inside." At that moment, a serious expression appears on Ye Chen's face. "Do you really think I would steal a watch worth nearly 5 million? Hearing this, the police officer also turns serious and says, "Mr. Yi, you must be a young master from some wealthy family, right? Then why would you be willing to become a live-in son-in-law of the Wong family?" In response, the protagonist answers with full attitude. "It was a family agreement. I had no choice. I hope you can keep my secret, especially don't tell the Wong family. I don't want to have any more involvement with them." After hearing Ye Chen's words, both police officers are completely shocked. The officer standing at the back thinks to himself, "The thoughts of rich people are really weird." Then the experienced officer says, "Mr. Yi, rest assured. Regarding your privacy, we will not reveal it to anyone else." The two officers turn around to leave. Before leaving, one of them says, "Sorry to disturb your rest. We should get going." Ye Chen stands at the door and replies calmly, "Not at all. Take care." 2 minutes later, in the hotel lobby, the two police officers inform Jiao and Fong Chiao. "Mr. Ye Chen said he did not take your Wong family watch. I think you should go back and check again, see if you forgot it somewhere else." Hearing this, both of them are completely stunned. Fong Chiao says, "How is this even possible?" Jiao also refuses to believe it. "How can you believe what he said? If he didn't steal our family stopwatch, then where did he get the money to stay in a 5-star hotel?" He's just a poor food delivery guy. Hearing their words, the two police officers are internally shocked. They know exactly what they saw with their own eyes, and how much money was in Ye Chen's card. 10 billion. They both think to themselves, is there really a poor person in this world worth 10 billion? Then the police officer says in a serious tone, Miss Wang Jiao, before there is concrete evidence, we have no right to arrest Mr. Yi. If you insist on arresting him, please produce evidence, such as videos or photos of him stealing the watch, and evidence of him selling the watch and receiving money. They turn around to leave. But before going, the officer adds, additionally, let me say one more thing. Don't call your ex-husband a poor and useless person anymore. After all, you were once husband and wife. Saying such things about the other party is too hateful. Hearing this, Jiao shouts angrily, I didn't say anything wrong about him. If he had even a little ambition, I wouldn't have divorced him. The other police officer responds calmly, it was you who divorced Mr. Yi. He almost laughs, because he knows the truth about Ye Chen, while Jiao knows nothing. Jiao says arrogantly, that's right. I took the initiative to divorce him. Does he already regret it? In response, the police officer gives a thumbs up and says, a husband with tens of billions in assets rejecting the CEO of Watching Group, the one who should regret it is you. Right. He says this only in his heart. Jiao neither hears it nor understands it. Suddenly, Jiao asks, is there a woman in his room? She is still secretly jealous. The police officer replies, Mr. Ye Chen is alone in the room. There is no one else. Hearing this, Jiao feels a little relieved and softly says, I know, he still loves me. She is still lost in her own dreams. The police officers leave. Fong Chiao frowns and says, why did they come down from upstairs and become so polite to Ye Chen? Suspicion starts to rise in his heart. Just then, Jiao's phone rings. It's Wang Shaji calling. She's slightly surprised but answers it. Jiao, I heard you called the police. Did they arrest him and take him to the station? Jiao replies, no. The police said there was no evidence. They can't arrest him. On the other side, Shaji asks, evidence? What kind of evidence? Jiao says, evidence of stealing the watch and proof of receiving money from selling it. Hearing this, Shaji thinks, that's impossible. The watch is right here on my wrist. Then a light flashes in his mind. But I can forge evidence of Ye Chen selling the watch. Laughing, he says to Jiao, leave this matter to me. I'll go check who he sold the watch to. Don't worry, I'll definitely send him to prison. He hangs up the phone. Jiao stares at her phone, thinking about Ye Chen. If Brother Shaoji really sends Ye Chen to prison, what will happen then? She recalls the past, how the protagonist used to take care of her and praise her. Miss, is this dress okay? It's barely acceptable. Thinking of all this, her heart softens slightly. But beside her stands Fong Chiao, whose mind is full of perverted thoughts. He moves closer, places his hand on her shoulder, and says softly, honey, let's stay at West Lake for a night tonight. Jiao immediately feels disgusted. She slaps Fong Chiao hard across the face and says, you can't even sell a single Ye Chen yet you dare to sleep with me? After saying that, she leaves. Fong Chiao holds his slapped cheek and thinks viciously, Ye Chen, you ruined my fun twice. When you come out, I definitely won't let you off. At that moment, Fong Chiao's friend walks over, whistling. Brother Chiao, this cheek is hot. Before he can finish, Fong Chiao grabs him by the collar and threatens coldly. Once Ye Chen leaves the hotel, notify me immediately. His friend is frightened but nods quickly. The next day, at 6 a.m. the protagonist walks out of his room. This time, as soon as the two receptionists see him, they are completely shocked. Ye Chen is wearing a full black suit, looking exactly like a business tycoon. They think to themselves, dominating CEO, completely different temperament from yesterday. Love it. Don't know who's lucky enough to be his wife. Ye Chen leaves the hotel. The moment he steps out, Fong Chiao's friend calls and reports that Ye Chen has left. He starts following him. Ye Chen gets into a taxi. Behind him, A black car follows closely. Brother Fong, I'm following that kid. The car is heading toward the city center. 20 minutes later, Ye Chen gets out of the taxi. In front of him stands a huge building. He walks forward confidently. But in his mind, he thinks about Qin Hongyan. Yesterday, you cut off my livelihood. I wonder what your attitude will be when you see me today. Meanwhile, Fong Chiao talks to his friend. You said Ye Chen went to the CBD building where Pushing Group is located? What is he doing there? Suddenly, he recalls something. Yesterday, President Qin said she wanted to cut off all his livelihood. Is Ye Chen going there to take revenge? A wicked smile appears on his face. Good opportunity. Maybe I can get close to that great beauty, Qin Hongyan. He immediately calls President Qin. She answers. Who is this? President Qin, I'm Fong Chiao. Yesterday, at old Madame Wang's birthday banquet, I toasted you. She recognizes his voice and says, Young Master Fong, calling so early, what's the matter? Fong Chiao says urgently. President Qin, you still remember the Wong family's live-in son-in-law Ye Chen, right? Yesterday, we supported the Wong family together and cut off his livelihood. That kid ran to your company building early this morning. I guess he wants revenge. President Qin replies calmly. Don't worry. The building has access control and security. He can't get upstairs. Fong Chiao quickly adds, the people I sent told me that kid has a guard in his hand and already passed the access control. He might be heading to your company floor right now. If you go up, your life might be in danger. Hearing this, President Qin becomes suspicious. What? How could he have our company card? This part begins with Fong talking to President Qin. That kid installed the Wong family watch and sold it for 5 million. He's rich now. Your company has so many people sending a little money just to buy an access card. Isn't that strange? I'm very worried about you, President Qin. You are so beautiful. If that bastard tries to hurt you with a knife, how heartbreaking that would be. On the other side, President Qin calmly replies, Thank you for your reminder. I will send someone to check the company right now. Hearing this, Fong practically starts drooling. Dirty thoughts fill his mind. I'll also go to your company to help you right away, Sister Hongyan. Meanwhile, President Qin calls her colleague. Rong, go to the company immediately and see if there are any suspicious people. If there are, call the police immediately. Yes, President. Half an hour later, Huaseng Group. Inside the company, a girl walks in. The security guards greet her with, Good morning. She replies politely. She is Secretary Zhao. She is Qin Hongyan's personal secretary, Zhao Rong. And she looks absolutely stunning. She walks toward the top floor, heading to the elevator. The security guards blush as they watch her. Their perverted nature is obvious. Secretary Zhao is so sexy, and still pure. Although far less sexy than President Qin, but she wins in approachability. Rong suddenly pushes open the office door and shouts. Who are you? How did you get into our company? What do you want? The protagonist gives her a side glance. He is dressed in a perfect suit, looking like a true boss. No tension on his face. Calm. Composed. Full aura. Who are you? He asks coolly. Rong adjusts her glasses confidently. I am President Qin's personal secretary, Zhao Rong. Hearing this, Ye Chen looks at her carefully. Qin Hongyan is a woman? Why does she like this type of secretary? Isn't this usually a man's preference? Then a dangerous thought crosses his mind. Could Qin Hongyan be a lesbian? Wow! What imagination! Rong slams both hands on the table and glares at him. What are you thinking? Answer my question quickly! What are you doing in our company? The protagonist responds seriously. I am Ye Chen. I am the new president of this group. The moment Rong hears this, she panics immediately. I'm sorry, President Yi. I was too stupid. The one who has the key to open this door must be you, Mr. President. Please forgive me. President Qin said a suspicious person was coming, so I Ye Chen doesn't pay much attention. He focuses on his work. But in his mind he thinks, damn. The Wong family people are following me like lingering ghosts. Alright. You can leave. Rong lowers her head softly and nods. Then Ye Chen adds casually, oh right. I heard President Qin is the #1 beautiful female president in Yunzhou. If she comes, tell her to come to my office immediately. I want to see just how beautiful our company's vice president is. After hearing this, Rong goes to the restroom and calls Qin. On the other side, President Qin is driving fast toward Huaseng Group. How is it? Are there any suspicious people in the company? Rong replies. The suspicious person you mentioned is President Yi. The new president of our group has arrived. And he said he wants to see you. Qin is completely shocked. What? President Yi is at the company? She presses the accelerator harder. I must get there quickly. 10 minutes later, CBD lobby. Rong calls out from behind. Qin turns around. They walk together toward the office. Where is President Yi? Qin asks. He's in the office. He said he wants to meet you immediately. As they walk, Qin notices female employees touching up their makeup. Why is everyone here so early today? The receptionist posted in the group chat that the new CEO is here, and he's super handsome. So everyone rushed over. Qin gives a side glance. Oh? How handsome? Rong's eyes sparkle. Her cheeks blush. More handsome than male celebrities. Very young. Looks about 23 years old. Qin frowns slightly. So young? She thinks. It's already rare that I became vice president at 32. Is the president really that young? She turns and says, tell everyone to be professional. Don't be love-struck. He is our president. He will look down on us. Rong's eyes shine again. How could we be worthy of President Yi? A dominating CEO like him, only President Qin is worthy of him. As they move forward, female employees whisper. President Yi called you the #1 beautiful female president in Yunzhou. Maybe he came here just to see you. Don't talk nonsense, Qin says confidently. I've been in Yunzhou's business circle for years. There's no man Qin Hongyan, can handle. Just a 23-year-old little boy. Inside her heart she thinks. There is nothing I cannot resolve once I take action. Employees recall how a previous billionaire CEO once couldn't be controlled, but after Qin stepped in for just 2 minutes, he behaved like a servant. Now, Qin even applies lipstick. The employees whisper excitedly. Later, leave the door slightly open. We want to see how you tame this new president again. Make him kneel and put on your shoes. We want to see that classic scene again. Qin finishes her makeup and walks toward the office, confident. But she has no idea. The calm before the storm is over. A huge explosion is about to happen. She reaches the office door. Come in. She opens it. A young man is sitting in a chair facing the window. His back is toward her. She hasn't seen his face yet. President Yi, I am the company's vice president, Qin Hongyan. Even from the side profile, his jawline looks like a Korean star. Handsome. Familiar. Deja vu? He slowly turns around. Outside the door, employees peek inside. I wonder if President Yi will get a nosebleed seeing President Qin's beauty. Maybe he'll kneel immediately and call her queen. They laugh quietly. But the moment Qin sees his face. Shock. It's Ye Chen. Pure handsome. Cold aura. She recognizes him instantly. It's Ye Chen. Her mind goes blank. Her knees give out. She drops to her knees. Speechless. Completely stunned. Outside, the employees are frozen in shock. Why did President Qin kneel instead? Rong is also shocked. The office door is open. Hello guys, how are you all? Welcome back to another explosive episode. As we saw in the last episode, the moment Qin Hongyan walked in and saw Ye Chen, she was so terrified that she immediately dropped to her knees. Watching this shocking scene, her secretary Rong was completely stunned. Hiding at a distance, she thought to herself. How is this possible? It shouldn't be President Yi bowing to President Chen, but President Chen kneeling in front of President Yi. Before she could process it, Ye Chen's gaze suddenly shifted toward her. Afraid of being caught, she and the other girls screamed and ran away. As soon as they left, an awkward silence filled the office. On the floor, Qin Hongyan sat stiffly, her heart pounding wildly in her chest. Breaking the tense silence, Ye Chen looked at her and said with a faint smirk, President Qin, why did you kneel the moment you saw me? I can't accept such a grand gesture. His sarcastic tone made her feel even more embarrassed. Inside her head, she fumed. If you can't accept it, then why haven't you helped me up yet? This is so humiliating, and this position is beyond awkward. In frustration, she cursed the Wong family in her mind. If not for them, she wouldn't have offended her own boss like this. Finally, gathering her courage, she apologized sincerely. President Yi, I was wrong. Please forgive me for what I said yesterday. Ye Chen leaned slightly closer, lowering his voice near her face. Oh, now I remember. Yesterday, didn't you say we were lovers? Before Qin Hongyan could even react, Ye Chen suddenly stepped forward and pulled her tightly into his arms. Her eyes widened in shock. A soft gasp escaped her lips. Holding her close, Ye Chen inhaled her fragrance and thought to himself. So soft, and she smells incredible. No wonder so many men are crazy about this woman. Then he whispered smoothly near her ear. I heard I even rented an entire island just to make you my girlfriend. So, which island was it? Her face flushed bright red. In a trembling voice, she said, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Only then did Ye Chen finally release her. All right. Stand up first. Then we'll talk. He stepped back and ordered calmly. Close the curtains. If the other employees see this, it won't look good. Qin Hongyan immediately stood up and obeyed. Once the situation settled, Ye Chen sat in the boss's chair, flipping through a file. President Qin, yesterday you said you would block all my ways of making a living in Yuzhou. Now I am the president of the company, your boss. Tell me, how exactly are you planning to blacklist me now? The air in the room turned heavy. Hesitating, she replied, I truly didn't expect someone of your status to become the Wong family's live-in son-in-law. She lowered her head but spoke firmly. I know my mistake can't be undone. Whatever punishment you give me, I will accept it. If you want to slap me, I'll step forward. If you want to scold me, I'll listen. If you want to fire me, I'll pack my things and leave immediately. Her fearless attitude impressed Ye Chen slightly. He thought, this woman, she's not simple. She doesn't panic in front of problems. She takes responsibility. After a long silence, he finally relaxed. I had no intention of firing you. His expression softened. Yesterday, you were the only one who gave me a way out. If I really were just an ordinary live-in son-in-law, you would have been my benefactor. Relief finally appeared on her face. Thank you, President Yi. From now on, I will serve you wholeheartedly. But Ye Chen's expression turned serious again. I can forgive you. But at yesterday's banquet, those who tried to cut off my livelihood, I won't spare a single one. She responded softly. You can just call me Hongyan. Without hesitation, he ordered. Hongyan, gather all the information on everyone who tried to block me yesterday. She nodded immediately. At that moment, she understood. A storm was about to sweep through Yuzhou's business circle. Half an hour later, she returned with files. This contains everything you asked for, President Yi. Inside was the full history of Fong Chiao. Seeing the name reminded Ye Chen of the mockery from Wang Jiayao, who once said, Look at Fong Chiao. His family has nearly 10 billion in assets. How can a loser like you compare? Ye Chen asked calmly. I heard the Fong family is considered first class in Yuzhou. Around 10 billion in net worth? Qin Hongyan clarified. 2 years ago, yes. But now their business has collapsed. They're barely worth 3 billion. They're not much better than the Wong family. She added that the Wong family was seeking 70 million in financing from their company. I'll return all the benefits they offered me and cut them off. But Ye Chen stopped her. These are separate matters. Bring me the project proposal. I want to review it. She immediately agreed. Meanwhile, outside the company, Fong Chiao arrived with a smug smile. He wondered if President Qin had already handled Ye Chen. Suddenly, a girl approached him flirtatiously. Young Master Fong, don't you remember me? That night at Link's bar. Realizing he might have gotten drunk that night, he forced a smile. Oh, of course I remember. A plan began forming in his mind. Soon, they reached the upper floor. There, Rong and the others were gossiping excitedly. The moment President Qin saw him, she knelt instantly. Suddenly, Fong Chiao barged in. Where is President Qin? Without waiting for an answer, he stormed into the office without knocking. Seeing Ye Chen inside, he shouted, Ye Chen! You shameless live-in son-in-law! So you're hiding here? Qin Hongyan stood up angrily. Who allowed you in? Ignoring her, Fong Chiao pointed at Ye Chen. Are you planning revenge on President Qin? Then he changed his tone, pretending to be heroic. Don't worry, Sister Hongyan, I'll throw this trash out right now. The next second. Slap! Qin Hongyan stepped forward and slapped him hard across the face. Who is your Sister Hongyan? Call me President Qin. Hello guys, how are you all? Welcome back to a brand new episode. As we saw in the previous episode, Fong Chiao had already arrived at Ye Chen's company. The moment he saw Ye Chen there, he started talking nonsense, and at the same time he addressed Qin Hongyan as sister. But before he could continue, Qin Hongyan suddenly lost her temper and pulled him in for a hard slap across the face. After receiving that loud slap, Fong Chiao was completely stunned. Stammering, he quickly corrected himself. As Sister Hongyan. I mean President Qin. His mind was in total chaos. He kept wondering what exactly was going on here. What shocked him the most was that Qin Hongyan and her subordinates showed absolutely no surprise at seeing Ye Chen there. In the middle of this confusion, Fong Chiao's brain came up with a ridiculous misunderstanding. He convinced himself that Ye Chen had come here to become a bodyguard. Pointing at Ye Chen, he suddenly shouted that he finally understood everything. He loudly declared that Ye Chen hadn't come to take revenge on President Qin. Instead, he had come to beg and become her bodyguard. Hearing all this nonsense, Ye Chen simply stood there quietly. In his heart, he wondered what kind of brain this fool Fong Chiao had. What kind of absurd rubbish was he spouting? But Fong Chiao's imagination was running wild. He recalled that earlier someone had mentioned kneeling. So in his twisted logic, Ye Chen must have knelt before Qin Hongyan, apologized to her, and begged to become her bodyguard. Feeling proud of his deduction, Fong Chiao mocked Ye Chen. He reminded everyone that at yesterday's birthday banquet, President Qin had asked Ye Chen to become her bodyguard, but Ye Chen had refused. At that time, Fong Chiao had even thought Ye Chen had some backbone. But now, he sneered, he never expected Ye Chen to wake up early in the morning, dress up like a dog in a bodyguard suit, and come running here to kneel and beg to stay by President Qin's side. After spitting out all this garbage, Fong Chiao turned to Qin Hongyan and said she couldn't possibly agree with this. He reminded her that just yesterday at the banquet, she had promised to cut off all of Ye Chen's livelihood and block every path for him. The moment she heard this, Qin Hongyan's anger shot through the roof. In her mind, she labeled Fong Chiao a complete idiot. Rong, who was standing nearby, heard everything and was shocked. She wondered if President Qin really wanted to block all of Ye Chen's ways to survive. But before that doubt could grow, Qin Hongyan exploded in rage and slapped Fong Chiao a second time. When did I ever say that? She shouted furiously. Still burning with anger, she ordered Rong to throw this man out immediately. From today onward, he was not allowed to step into her company ever again. And any employee who had let him come upstairs would be fired on the spot. After receiving the clear order, Rong immediately agreed. 2 bodyguards stepped forward to escort Fong Chiao out. Although humiliated, Fong Chiao swallowed his anger. He thought about how he was the respected young master of the Fong family, yet he had just been slapped twice in public. The most humiliating part was that it all happened in front of that useless live-in son-in-law. As the bodyguards dragged him away, he still wasn't done. He shouted at Ye Chen, warning him not to think that becoming Qin Hongyan's bodyguard meant he was untouchable. He told Ye Chen to just wait. Soon he would make sure Ye Chen couldn't even eat properly, would end up sleeping on the streets, and finally land in jail. After those threats, he was shoved out. Later, sitting inside his car, Fong Chiao started the engine with extreme anger and frustration written all over his face. He cursed Qin Hongyan, calling her a cheap woman who had only gained power by relying on her looks and other men. Gripping the steering wheel tightly, he swore that once he fully controlled Wang Jiaxiao, one day he would make Qin Hongyan kneel before him and call him Daddy. He even threatened to toy with her brutally. In his frustration, he remembered Ye Chen again and decided he had to inform the Wong family immediately that this useless Ye Chen had become Qin Hongyan's bodyguard. 1 hour later, the scene shifted to Shirshan Villa. After hearing everything Fong Chiao reported, old Madame Wong was shocked. She asked him to repeat what he had just said. Was it true that that useless, abandoned live-in son-in-law had actually become Qin Hongyan's bodyguard? Fong Chiao confirmed that he had seen it with his own eyes. Ye Chen was standing in Qin Hongyan's office, holding her documents. Yen was stunned. Xiao Jia also questioned the basis of this claim. Adding fuel to the fire, Fong Chiao said he had heard that the moment Ye Chen saw Qin Hongyan, he immediately knelt down and begged for forgiveness. He speculated that maybe Qin Hongyan had developed a liking for Ye Chen at the banquet and had a soft heart, which was why she accepted him. Hearing this, Jiechi's anger skyrocketed. She screamed that Ye Chen was truly shameless for kneeling before another woman. Jealousy and rage consumed her. She thought about how many chances she had given him to kneel and admit his mistakes. If he had knelt and begged her, she would have forgiven him. She wouldn't have divorced him. She wouldn't have called the police. But in 3 years of marriage he had never knelt before her. And now he had knelt before another woman. In that tense moment Yen mocked her, saying it seemed Jiechi's charm hadn't worked on him. She even boasted that if Ye Chen were her husband, she would have made him kneel on the very first day, and wash her feet every day after. Grinding her teeth, Jiechi swore that if she got another chance, she would make him kneel from morning till night. She then turned to her grandmother, and demanded that since Qin Hongyan had broken her promise, they should cut off all contact and take action against her. But suddenly, old Madame Wang slapped Jiechi and scolded her for talking nonsense. She reminded everyone that their 70 million financing was still in Qin Hongyan's hands. How could they afford to offend her? Later, old Madame Wang personally called Qin Hongyan and demanded an explanation. Qin Hongyan calmly explained that things were not as they seemed. She apologized and admitted she could not fulfill her previous promise. In her heart she smirked. If old Madame Wang ever found out that the so-called useless live-in son-in-law was actually her real boss, President Yi, she would probably faint from shock. Old Madame Wang, suppressing her excitement upon hearing President Ye's name, offered to send her son Ji-chang to personally meet President Yi and discuss the project. After the call ended, she strictly instructed Ji-chang to perform perfectly during the meeting. Meanwhile, she ordered the investigation against Ye Chen to continue. They must gather all evidence against him. Xiao Jia proudly claimed he had already found proof that Ye Chen had stolen from gang hooligans. Old Madame Wang praised him and said to keep the evidence safe. At the right time, they could send Ye Chen to jail, or even use him as leverage against Qin Hongyan. After humiliating Jiechi's family in comparison to others, Jiechi completely broke down. Trembling with humiliation, she ran out of the house. Ignoring her mother's calls, she drove straight toward Huashan Group, furious and determined to teach Ye Chen a harsh lesson. Moments later, she entered the underground parking lot of Huashan Group. But as soon as she looked ahead, her mouth fell open in shock. Standing right there in front of her were Ye Chen and Qin Hongyan together. Hello guys, how are you all? Welcome back to another video. So just like we saw in the previous episode, Wang Jiayao had already stormed her way to Ye Chen's company in pure rage. The moment she stepped into the underground parking lot, she saw something that completely froze her. There stood Ye Chen and Qin Hongyan, together. And when she saw Ye Chen, dressed sharp, looking insanely handsome and well put together, she was completely stunned. Jealousy burned inside her as she thought. So this bastard really upgraded himself after divorcing me? She couldn't take it anymore. She slammed her car door open, stepped out, and shouted furiously. Ye Chen! Have you no shame? You actually became Qin Hongyan's dog? Hearing her sudden scream, Ye Chen turned around. He was clearly surprised. What is Wang Jiaya doing here? He muttered. On the other side, Qin Hongyan also felt something strange seeing the arrogant eldest daughter of the Wong family here. But Jiaya wasn't done. She kept yelling like she was doing him a favor. So you knelt in front of Qin Hongyan and begged her? If you could throw away your self-respect like that, why didn't you kneel in front of me and beg? Her tone was disgusting, like she was granting mercy. I gave you so many chances. If you had just knelt and begged me, you would still be the son-in-law of the Wong family today. At this point, Ye Chen's patience snapped. You have the nerve to ask why I didn't kneel before you. Don't you think you're talking way too much? His anger flared up. Just the day before yesterday, you booked a room with that guy surnamed Fong and cheated on me. And after all that, you still wanted me to kneel and apologize to you? But Jiayao had zero shame. At my birthday banquet yesterday, I gave you a chance. If you had knelt, I would have told Grandma not to force the divorce. You could still be my husband. She even pointed angrily at Qin Hongyan. At Westlake Hotel, if you had knelt and begged, I wouldn't have called the police. In both situations you just had to kneel. So why kneel for her and not for me? I was your wife. Her logic was insane. Ye Chen replied coldly. Kneeling before your wife isn't shameful, but kneeling before a cheating wife is. For the past 3 years, I really spoiled you too much. That line hit hard. But Jiayao exploded. You spoiled me? It's obvious I spoiled you. I shouldn't have treated you so well. That's why you've become so uncontrollable. The family even blames me for not keeping you under control. Her arrogance hit peak level. You're just a live-in son-in-law. If I had known earlier, I would have made you kneel every day and pour out the water you used to wash my feet. And then... slap! The sound echoed across the entire parking lot. Jiayao screamed and held her cheek. The one who slapped her? Qin Hongyan. Her face was filled with pure fury. You cheated first. And you still feel no guilt? As a woman, don't you feel any shame? Jiayao froze, trembling in anger. How dare you hit me? Qin Hongyan shot back. If I hit you, I hit you. Do I need to pick a special day for it? Jiayao screamed again. You stole my man and now you hit me? Seeing things escalate, Ye Chen stepped forward and gently held Qin Hongyan's shoulder. Forget it. Then he turned to Jiayao and said clearly. You should leave. I'm not your man anymore. That line destroyed her pride. Inside, Jiayao thought obsessively. Even if this Wong family's dog isn't mine anymore, I won't let anyone else have him so easily. Her twisted obsession kicked in. I order you to resign from Wanxing Group right now. You don't need to be Qin Hongyan's bodyguard anymore. Then she tried to flex money. She pays you 200,000 a year? I'll give you 500,000. And that's when Qin Hongyan burst out laughing. You want to buy Ye Chen for 500,000? She couldn't stop laughing. Even if you add another zero to that amount, it still wouldn't be enough. Jiayao's eyes widened. Wait, his salary isn't 200,000? Is it 5 million? Has Qin Hongyan gone crazy? Before she could process it, Qin Hongyan calmly told Ye Chen. Let's go. As they walked away, Jiayao panicked. Ye Chen, stop! She ran up and grabbed his arm tightly. You must resign today. Wang Xiaojie already has proof that you sold that watch. If it gets to the police, you're going to jail. Then she made her final offer. If you leave Qin Hongyan and return to the Wang family as my personal bodyguard, I can make Wang Xiaojie drop everything. But Ye Chen rejected her immediately. Thank you for your kindness. But I can't be your personal bodyguard. Then he added coldly, I can't protect someone who books rooms with other men in front of my eyes. That brutal truth made her explode again. But Ye Chen didn't care anymore. He calmly got into his car. If Wang Xiaojie really has evidence, let him file a case. I don't care. And with that, he drove away. Jiao screamed behind him. Ye Chen, you're not allowed to leave. But he was already gone. Standing there shaking in rage, jealousy twisted her thoughts. There's no way Qin Hongyan spends 5 million just for a bodyguard. Could she be using him as her lover too? Her suspicion deepened. And just like that, jealousy turned into obsession. Jiao stood there shaking with rage. Inside her head, jealousy twisted into something ugly. So what, Qin Hongyan? Even with a rich CEO boyfriend like President Yi, you're still chasing other men? And you dare say I have no shame? The truth is, you're the most shameless one. The thought made her even angrier. And Ye Chen, that bastard, is no better. He knows she already has a boyfriend, yet he's still willing to become her lover. Just thinking about it makes my blood boil. Her pride wouldn't let it go. In what way am I inferior to Qin Hongyan? What does she have that I don't? Her obsession deepened. Scene shift, Yunjiao 7th Street. This wasn't just any place. 7th Street was the most infamous slum area in Yunjiao. Public security here was chaotic and unreliable. On one side, poor families struggled to survive. On the other, ruthless mafias and underground dons built their nests. In Yunjiao's underworld, everyone knew one saying: whether the city is in peace or chaos, the final decision always belongs to Brother Gue. And there was one terrifying rule. Whenever Brother Gue walked out holding a bag in his hand, it meant only one thing: inside that bag was either a human head or a sharp blade. And now, Wang Xiaojie arrived at this dangerous place. He stepped forward respectfully. Hello, Brother Gue. Brother Gue greeted him in a rough, gravelly voice. Ah, young Master Wong. Welcome. Forgive me for not coming out to receive you. After a few formalities, Xiaojie went straight to the point. He opened a box and revealed a luxury watch. I came to make a deal. He lifted it slightly. This is a Richard Mille watch worth over 5 million. I'm willing to sell it to you at a special discounted price, 4.5 million. Then came the condition. But you cannot say I sold it to you. You must tell everyone that a man named Ye Chen sold it. Brother Gue's sharp eyes narrowed. He stared at the bruise on Xiaojie's face. The injury on your face? That Ye Chen boy did it, didn't he? Xiaojie clenched his fist. Brother Gue guessed correctly. He's just a live-in son-in-law from my second uncle's family. Our family doesn't want to escalate this for reputation's sake. But I can't swallow this humiliation. I must send that bastard to jail. Despite his confidence, Brother Gue calmly refused. I can't help you. He exhaled smoke slowly. Master Lu strictly warned me, never interfere in other people's family matters. What if we help you, and later you reconcile? We'll be the only ones left carrying the blame. Xiaojie panicked. That won't happen. Ye Chen has already divorced into our Wong family. And who is this Master Lu anyway? Why do you have to listen to him? The moment Master Lu was disrespected, one of Brother Gue's subordinates exploded. Bastard. Master Lu is Brother Gue's boss. Xiaojie was visibly shaken. Brother Gue spoke calmly. Master Lu is my guide. Without him, I wouldn't even exist in the underworld. His words are like a king's decree to me. Find someone else for this job. Xiaojie's desperation grew. I'll sell it for 4 million. No reaction. 3 million. You can resell it and easily make 2 million profit. That number made Brother Gue's steps stop. His face slowly turned. A dangerous red greed flickered in his eyes. He smirked. Master Lu also said, in the underworld, never go against money. He chuckled darkly. The sky is big. The earth is big. But nothing is bigger than making money. Young Master Wong. I'll take the job. And just like that, the deadly deal was sealed. Scene shift, back to Ye Chen and Qin Hongyan. They were driving. Silence filled the car. Then suddenly, Ye Chen broke it. "From now on, without my permission, you're not allowed to hit Fong Chiao again." Qin Hongyan was slightly startled. Inside, a thought crept in. Does President Yi still care about his ex-wife? She couldn't hold it in anymore. President Yi, after everything she did to you, do you still not hate her? Hello guys, how are you all? Welcome everyone to this new video. So, as we saw in the previous episode, Ye Chen suddenly warns Qin Hongyan and tells her that from now on, without his order, she is absolutely not allowed to hit Wang Jiechi again. Hearing this sudden warning, Qin Hongyan is badly shocked for a moment, and she starts thinking in her heart whether President Yi still feels so much pain and attachment for his ex-wife. As soon as this thought comes to her mind, she cannot stop herself from asking and directly says to him, President Yi, that woman treated you so badly. Don't you still have even a little hatred toward her? At her words, a light silence spreads there, and then Ye Chen answers her. Hatred and love are two sides of the same coin. Hating her is exactly like loving her. Is there really any difference in it? Hearing such deep and mature words from Ye Chen, Qin Hongyan becomes completely impressed. Looking at him, she starts thinking in her heart that as expected, he truly is the young master of a big family. Whether it is his understanding or his mindset, nothing about him can be underestimated. She feels herself falling even more for Ye Chen's personality. She thinks he is so handsome. His family is so rich, and his thinking is completely different and above everyone else. Along with that, he is such a generous and loving person toward women. Thinking all this, a light shy smile appears on Qin Hongyan's face, and she makes a promise to herself that since Wang Jiechi did not value such a diamond, then she herself will be the one who makes this man hers. After a short while, the scene shifts, and we see that Ye Chen and Qin Hongyan have reached a new location called Golden Pavilion Temple. Both of them stand among the beautiful scenery and start talking. Ye Chen, in a slightly serious tone, asks whether the Wong family is planning to build their first-class private residence right here. Saying this, he recalls in his mind the project details. This is the same project for which the Wong family is asking financing from Washing Group. This so-called first-class private residence is actually a special housing designed only for top-level and first-class families. At his question, Qin Hongyan nods her head and, looking at the surroundings, says that yes, this is exactly the place. She further explains that this place has the most gardens in Yuzhou, and along with that, there is a whole mountain of red maple trees here. The people living here can comfortably picnic in those maple forests. Not only that, Yuzhou's only natural hot spring is also present at this place. After explaining all this, she says that although the location is really very good, President Yi, do you truly intend to give them money for this project? The Wong family has treated you extremely badly and beyond limits. But at this moment, Ye Chen's expression remains completely calm, and he says that to tell the truth, this project was actually his own idea. Hearing this, Qin Hongyan is shocked and asks in surprise whether it is possible that the Wong family secretly stole his idea. Seeing her shock, Ye Chen calmly explains that she cannot say that. He tells the whole story in detail, saying that he could clearly see that the Wong family always wanted to move toward becoming a first-class family in Yuzhou. But after Wang Jiechi's grandfather passed away, Wang Jiqiang and Wang Ziyuan both turned out completely useless and incapable. They kept fighting among themselves just to obtain the little remaining family property. Because of this, he thought about this project for the Wong family. His plan was that through this project, without increasing their own family strength, they could easily control other first-class families. And the method was to specifically design a set of private residences for them. Ye Chen further tells that he had told this powerful idea to Wang Jiechi. Then Wang Jiechi directly went and told old Madame Wang. Old Madame Wang immediately accepted the project but showed partiality and handed the entire project to Wang Jiqiang. After hearing all this truth, Qin Hongyan wisely says that this means the Wang family truly prefers and favors Wang Jiqiang's side of the family. She falls into thought and says that in the end, they still give more importance to men than women. Deep down, they believe that Wang Jiechi does not have any right to expand or claim authority over the Wang family business. After realizing all this, Qin Hengyan says in a soft tone that only on this one matter, she truly feels a lot of sympathy for Wang Jiechi. At her reaction, Ye Chen looks slightly gloomy and nods, saying yes, Wang Jiechi has always been looked down upon by her family and never respected. Her parents also always put a lot of pressure on her. And despite all this, her family arranged a live-in son-in-law like him for her. But tension rises again when Qin Hengyan remembers old matters and, making an angry face, says that even if all that is true, it still cannot be an excuse for her betrayal. Silence spreads again. Then Ye Chen steps forward and, in a very soft and romantic way, removes a red maple leaf that had fallen on Qin Hengyan's hair. Looking into her eyes, he calmly says, "Hengyan, come with me, let's go have a drink." After this, the scene directly shifts to a bar. There, at a table, Wang Jiechi is sitting with a female friend. She looks in very bad condition and shouts in anger and frustration that she just wants to drink. Her friend's name is Song Hongi. Calling her, Jiechi says, "Hongi, drink with me." Seeing her friend in such a restless state, Song Hongi asks with concern what happened to her today, why she is drinking in broad daylight, and who dared to bully her. She tells her to say the name, and she will go immediately and teach that person a lesson. Seeing this support, Wang Jiechi's anger bursts out even more. She irritably says that it is all because of that dog Qin Hengyan. She really slapped her on the face. She did not even provoke her. She was just scolding her useless and disappointing husband. So what right did she have to raise her hand on her? Then she shouts that what importance does she have to that useless Ye Chen that she interfered? Seeing Jiechi like this, Song Hongi explains logically that before hitting a dog, one must always look at its owner. Now her ex-husband has basically become Qin Hengyan's dog, so obviously she would not allow her to humiliate him like that. Hearing this, Jiechi says that she only cheated once in her life, and in today's era which beautiful woman has never cheated? Then she looks at Song Hongi and shouts that she herself cheated twice. Hearing this, Song Hongi is completely shocked. The wine in her mouth sprays out like a fountain. Controlling herself, she asks why Jiechi is suddenly mentioning her. At least she was not caught by her husband. In defense, Jiechi vents her anger on Ye Chen, saying he is just a live-in son-in-law. Even if he knew everything, why could he not silently endure it? She says she asked him to kneel before her, but he clearly refused. Instead, he turned around, kneeled before Qin Hengyan to apologize, and willingly agreed to become her bodyguard. Looking confused and jealous, she asks what the reason could be. She could have paid him just as much money. Hearing this, Song Hongi thinks and seriously analyzes the situation. She says that in the past 3 years, from what she understood about Ye Chen, he loved Jiechi very deeply and cannot change his feelings so easily. She confidently explains that he rejected her offer and chose to become Qin Hengyan's bodyguard because he wants Jiechi to respect him and see him at a higher level. This goes over Jiechi's head, and she asks in confusion. Seeing her blank expression, Song Hongi explains in detail that if he used her money, he would feel inside that he is still living off her and surviving on her leftovers. But money earned from others would allow him to stand proudly before her. She concludes that Ye Chen wants to go out into the world, build a big name for himself, prove himself worthy of her, and then one day return and propose again. After hearing this explanation, Jiechi's eyes shine. All her tension disappears instantly. She thinks excitedly that this must be true, and a proud smile appears on her face. With attitude, she flips her hair back and says she already knew that useless man still loves her. Seeing her overconfidence, Song Hongi reminds her whether she did not want someone of equal status. She says Jiechi could marry Fong Chiao. Hearing his name, Jiechi wrinkles her nose and says Fong Chiao is too much of a playboy and does not know how to care for people. At least Ye Chen is not like that. Song Hongi says that if things do not work out, she can divorce again and keep Ye Chen as her fallback guy, her backup plan. An honest and simple man like him would happily accept that. Hearing this selfish plan, Jiechi says she is really evil, but the next moment bitterness appears on her face, and she angrily says that Ye Chen made her very sad and disappointed, so he deserves all this. During the discussion, Song Hongi asks another doubt, was he not always a house husband? Then why did he suddenly start doing food delivery in the past 6 months? Jiuqi recalls in a flashback that about half a year ago, when their whole family had gone to Switzerland for vacation, he fell sick and desperately needed money. He could not contact them, so later he decided to earn money himself. While they are talking, Jiuqi's phone suddenly rings loudly on the table. The screen shows young Master Wang. She quickly picks up the call. On the other side, Wang Xiaojie tells her to immediately come to Grandma's house because he has found evidence against Ye Chen regarding selling that watch. The scene cuts to the next morning inside the grand building of Washing Group. As soon as Ye Chen enters through the main gate with a boss-like aura, all the employees respectfully greet him. Suddenly his phone rings again. It is Wang Xiaojie. He tells him to quickly come to Grandma's house and says he has already invited the man who bought his watch. If he has courage, he should come and confront him face to face. Hearing this childish threat, Ye Chen remains calm on the call but thinks deeply inside. He never sold that watch. So where did this witness come from? After thinking, he says that whatever it is, he will come and settle this matter once and for all so they stop bothering him for no reason. He cuts the call without waiting for a reply. After putting down the phone, he turns to Secretary Zhu Rongrong and asks whether she knows how to drive. She says yes. Hearing that, he immediately decides and tells her to drive him to Shirshan Villa. She respectfully replies, "Yes, sir." As we saw in the previous episode, Ye Chen was heading toward Shirshan Villa together with Zhu Rongrong. And now we see Ye Chen's car speeding forward toward Shirshan Villa. During the journey, while sitting inside the car, many thoughts are running through Ye Chen's mind. He looks outside through the window and thinks to himself, returning to Shirshan Villa, and this time taking my cousin back as the president of the Huasher Group. My feelings are honestly becoming a little complicated. After traveling for about 30 minutes, their car finally arrives at Shirshan Villa. As soon as the car stops, Zhu Rongrong quickly gets out of the driver's seat and hurriedly comes over to open the door for Ye Chen. Seeing this scene, Jia Yao's mother, who is standing there, is completely stunned. Suspicious thoughts appear in her mind as she thinks, isn't this Secretary Zi whom Qin Hongyan values the most? But why is she driving the car? At the same time, old Madame Wang also notices the scene. Confused, she thinks to herself, what is she doing here? And where is Ye Chen? Just then, after the door opens, Zhu Rongrong respectfully says, President Yi, we have arrived. Hearing this, Ye Chen steps out of the car and, with a boss-like attitude, says to her, Secretary Zhua, wait here for me. Rongrong immediately nods and replies, yes, sir. However, for the rest of the Wong family members standing there, all of this is extremely hard to digest. They look at each other in disbelief, and only one thought is running through their minds. Is Zhu Rongrong really acting as Ye Chen's driver? In the middle of this shocking moment, Jia Yao can't hold herself back and mutters, Ye Chen, how is this even possible? Before Ye Chen can react, Xiao Jie, who is standing there, suddenly bursts out laughing exaggeratedly. Mocking Ye Chen loudly, he says, oh, I get it now. Is this fake Ye Chen trying to create a scene like those stories where a normal food delivery guy humiliates a rich family to take revenge? Hearing his sarcastic remark, old Madame Wang also seizes the chance and says mockingly, oh yes, exactly. What are you showing off for? Watching all this just makes me laugh. Jia Yao's mother quickly agrees and says, yes, Xiao Jia is absolutely right. Xiao Jia laughs again and shouts at Ye Chen, Ye Chen, you've really gone too far with this acting. You're behaving as if you're actually the CEO of some big company. You even made secretaries would drive the car and open the door for you. Tell us honestly, how much money did you pay her to act in this drama? Meanwhile, Wan Yuan also jumps in and sneers. Who in this city doesn't know that you're just President Qin's dog in the Washing Group? Then what's the point of this useless attitude and fake show-off? Even after hearing all these insulting words from the Wang family, Ye Chen remains silent. In his mind, he thinks, the Wang family has always been like this. Their nature will never change. Can elephant tusks ever grow out of a dog's mouth? At that moment, his gaze suddenly falls on Jia Yao. He notices that she is actually smiling slightly. Seeing that smile surprises him, and he wonders, why is Wang Jiayao smiling? In reality, Jiayao is lost in her own fantasy. Looking at Ye Chen's new appearance, she happily thinks to herself, Hong Yan was absolutely right. Ye Chen joined the washing group just to become successful one day and prove himself to me. And today, all of his actions are the biggest proof of that. Seeing Jia Yao's delusional smile, Ye Chen feels slightly irritated. He thinks in his mind, it seems their brains are filled with garbage. Then he calms himself and speaks to them in a cold, firm voice. Stop all this nonsense. Just tell me, where is the witness you were talking about? As soon as he asks this question, Shaji smirks and points inside, saying, he's inside. Quietly follow me. Without further argument, Ye Chen and the others slowly walk inside Shirshan Villa. But the moment they enter, the scene completely changes. Inside, many thugs are standing there. Seeing them, Ye Chen pauses for a second and analyzes the situation in his mind. These people look like gangsters at first glance. What are people like them doing in Shirshan Villa? Just then, Brother Gua walks forward. The moment he sees Ye Chen, he smiles and says, Brother Ye Chen, it seems we meet again. Hearing this sudden statement, Ye Chen looks confused and asks, when and where have we met? Brother Gua pretends to be surprised and says, did you forget? Just a few days ago you came to me to sell a watch. I gave you 5 million for it. I'm Brother Gua. As soon as this statement comes out, Xiao Jie immediately takes advantage of the moment. Stepping forward, he mocks Ye Chen and says, even a normal high school kid knows who Brother Gua is. And you're saying you don't know him? I think you're just afraid to admit the truth. You were the one who sold that watch to Brother Gua, and now you're pretending not to recognize him. Hearing this nonsense accusation, Ye Chen confidently replies, Wang Xiaojie, so this is the witness you brought? I have to admit, it perfectly suits your style. Hearing this, Xiaojie completely loses his temper and shouts angrily, what nonsense are you talking about? It's obvious you stole that watch. At the same time, old Madame Wang's anger also explodes. She shouts, Ye Chen! You stole from the Wang family, and you still have the audacity to argue in front of us? The atmosphere becomes extremely tense, but Ye Chen calmly says, Old Madame Wang, I came here today only to clarify things. I never took your family's watch. Hearing this, old Madame Wang becomes even angrier. She immediately takes out the watch and shows it to everyone, saying, then explain this. How did this watch end up in Brother Gua's hands? This is a global limited edition watch, and every watch has its own exclusive mark. There is absolutely no chance of a mistake. At that moment, Brother Gua steps forward and points at Ye Chen, saying confidently, Brother, you're the one who came to sell me this watch. You even said you'd use the money to book a room at the West Lake Hotel Presidential Suite for a week. If you didn't take the 5 million, then tell me, where did you get the money to book that room? While saying this, Brother Gua is secretly very pleased with himself. A sly smile appears on his face as he thinks, we already rehearsed all these lines. Ye Chen won't be able to deny it no matter what. But after hearing this fabricated story, Ye Chen looks at all of them with a serious expression and says, at first, I wanted to deal with all of you as an ordinary person. But I never expected that in return I would only receive your mockery and insults. Fine, then I'll reveal everything. With a powerful and confident voice, he declares, I am the president of Huasher Group. His voice carries authority and confidence as he continues loudly, I'm a billionaire. Isn't that reason enough? Hearing such a shocking truth, the entire place falls silent for a second. Everyone stares at him in disbelief. But the next moment, the silence bursts into loud laughter. Everyone starts laughing hysterically. Meanwhile, Xiao Jie, struggling to stop laughing, mocks him and says, what do you think, you're Wang Duo? You literally copied the lines from the movie The Richest Man in Tomato City. I can't stop laughing. Hearing this reference, Ye Chen becomes confused, because he has no idea what they are talking about. He asks, what is the richest man in Tomato City? Seeing his innocent confusion, Wan Yuan steps forward with a proud smile and says sarcastically, "Why do you love pretending to be rich so much? If you were really the president of Washin Group, forget my sister marrying you. I would happily become your second wife myself. My sister and I would take turns serving you." Right after her mocking words, Brother Gua walks forward and suddenly places his hand on Ye Chen's shoulder. He says, "Brother, stop this useless drama now. Just kneel down, bow your head, and apologize to old Madam and young Master Wong. Don't worry. Old Madam already said she won't send you to jail." Seeing this, Jia Yao also steps forward and says, "Ye Chen, you were my husband for 3 years after all. Our Wong family remembers old relationships. So we won't send you to jail. Even though you already spent millions, you can pay it back later. Just kneel down now and admit your mistake. After that you can leave." Hearing her words, Ye Chen replies firmly, "I didn't do anything wrong, so I won't kneel. And even if I had done something wrong, the Wong family doesn't have the status to make me kneel." Hearing this arrogant response, old Madame Wong and Jia Yao's mother explode with anger. They shout furiously, "Call the police! Send this useless live-in son-in-law to jail for 10 years! But hearing the word police, Brother Gua immediately becomes nervous. In his mind he thinks, if this reaches the police station, everything will be exposed, so he quickly tries to control the situation and shouts at Ye Chen, "Today you will kneel, whether you want to or not!" Then he signals to the thugs behind him and orders, "Brothers, grab him and force him to kneel!" Immediately, 2 thugs rush forward and grab Ye Chen from behind. One of them angrily says, "Didn't you hear what Brother Gua said? Get down on your knees!" Despite the pressure, Ye Chen remains standing and says calmly, "I already told you, you're not qualified." Then suddenly, Ye Chen slams his elbow hard into one thug, and without wasting a second, he strikes the second thug with another elbow. Both thugs scream in pain and fall to the ground. Seeing his men defeated like this, Brother Gua is shocked, fear and anger appearing on his face. He shouts to the rest, "So he knows a little fighting! Brothers, attack him together!" Just as the remaining thugs are about to rush forward, suddenly, old Madame Wang's pet dog runs into the middle of them, barking loudly. The sudden appearance startles the thugs, and they step back nervously. "Whoa! A dog! Where did this dog come from?" Instead of being afraid, the small dog runs straight in front of Ye Chen, barking at the thugs as if trying to protect him. Seeing this, Ye Chen calls out the dog's name, "Hua Hua." He steps forward, gently picks up the dog, and holds it to his chest. Looking at the dog, he says softly, "You little troublemaker, weren't you barking at me yesterday?" Old memories flood his mind as he thinks. Even though Hua Hua is old Madame Wang's favorite dog, for the past few years I was the one cleaning its poop and feeding it. Today, when I was in trouble, this little guy actually came to protect me. Then Ye Chen turns back toward the Wong family and says sarcastically, "Even a dog knows who treats it well. That's much better than certain people who are worse than pigs and dogs." As we saw in the previous episode, old Madame Wong's dog, Hua, stepped forward and stood in front of all those thugs to protect Ye Chen. Seeing this, Ye Chen gently picks the dog up and, with a smile, says, "You little troublemaker, weren't you barking at me just yesterday?" Then he looks toward the people standing there and says, "Even though this little Hua is old Madame Wong's favorite dog, for the past few years it was actually me who cleaned up after him and fed him. And today, when I was in trouble, Hua was the one who cared about me." After saying this, Ye Chen throws a bitter taunt at everyone present. "Even a dog knows who treats it well. That's far better than some people here who are worse than pigs and dogs." As soon as they hear these harsh words, the atmosphere instantly becomes even more tense. The family members' faces turn red with anger. At that moment, old Madame Wong angrily shouts, "Yun Yun! Bring Hua back to me!" Hearing her grandmother's voice, Yun Yun immediately responds and walks forward. She snatches the dog from Ye Chen and brings it back. Old Madame Wong then glares at Ye Chen and gives him a final warning. "Ye Chen, I will give you one last chance. Kneel down right now and admit your mistake so you can save yourself from physical pain." At that moment, the thugs begin surrounding him. But Ye Chen simply takes off his coat and replies calmly, "Then I'll repeat what I said before, you people are not worthy." Hearing this, the thugs go crazy with anger. They rush toward him with weapons in their hands, shouting, "Die!" Seeing them charging at him, Ye Chen prepares himself for the fight. Soon after, he starts beating them down while thinking to himself, "For years ago, 1 year before my marriage into the Wong family, the family arranged a battlefield trial for me and sent me to Syria for a whole year." He continues thinking, "Compared to ordinary people, these guys might be considered professionals. But for someone like me, who survived on the battlefield and spent an entire year surrounded by blood and corpses, this is nothing more than child's play." In the blink of an eye, Ye Chen brutally beats all of them down and throws them to the ground. The thugs lie there groaning in pain. But the fight isn't over yet. Suddenly, a tall and bulky thug shouts angrily from behind and grabs Ye Chen tightly with all his strength. Seeing this, another thug standing in front becomes excited and shouts, "Hold him tight! I'm going to cut the tendon in his arm." Brother Gua then angrily says to Ye Chen, "Brat, you dared to hurt my men. Today I'll cripple you." But in the very next moment, the situation completely reverses. Ye Chen suddenly breaks free and launches a counterattack on the thug. Then he starts beating the other thug as well. Seeing this intense fight and Ye Chen's terrifying strength, Yuan's eyes widen in shock. She screams in fear, "Oh my God! How can one person's fighting ability be this terrifying?" Meanwhile, old Madame Wong, seeing this scene, starts muttering in shock. Could it be that the old man insisted on marrying Jiaki to Ye Chen because he knew about these skills of his? At the same time, Jia Yogi secretly thinks in her heart, "Did Grandpa arrange my marriage with him so that he could protect me? No. She quickly tries to convince herself. Grandpa arranged this marriage because his family is rich. Besides, this is a peaceful era, and the Wong family has no enemies." Amid this tense atmosphere, Ji Chang suddenly laughs and says to Jia Yao's father, "Dad really found a strange specimen for your Jiaki. Good thing I refused at that time." Hearing this, Jia Yao's father looks surprised. "Huh!" Ji Chang then smiles and says, "Do you think Dad originally fixed Ye Chen and Jiaki's marriage first?" "Wrong. Dad actually came to me first." Hearing this, Jia Yao's mother asks in shock, "Big brother, what did you say?" At this moment, the story shifts into a flashback. Grandpa was saying to Ji Chang, "Ji Chang, right now we have found a very rare, top-quality son-in-law candidate. Are you willing to arrange Yuan's marriage a few years earlier?" Back in the present, Ji Chang reveals the truth to everyone. "When I found out that he was just a rural loser like Ye Chen, I refused on the spot. I said Yuan was still too young. And only after that was Ye Chen's marriage arranged with your Jiaki." Hearing all this, Shaji starts laughing loudly and mocks. "So that means Jia Yao actually picked up the man that my little sister didn't even want." After hearing this, Yuan's attitude becomes even more arrogant. She proudly says, "Oh my! Grandpa must have lost his mind to even think about marrying me to Ye Chen. He only knows how to fight and nothing else. I have zero interest in violent men like him." Then she smiles and mocks Jia Yao. "Luckily I was too young back then and escaped a huge disaster. Big sister, you should enjoy your good fortune now." After hearing all these words, Jia Yao quietly stands there without saying anything. Watching this scene while beating up the thugs, Ye Chen thinks to himself, "I never expected that there was such a story behind all of this." And while standing there, his mind drifts back to memories from 3 years ago. 3 years ago, when I returned from my battlefield trial, after seeing blood and corpses every single day, I was truly longing for love and a family. At that time, the moment I saw Wang Jiayao, I fell in love with her at first sight. I thought that I would spend my whole life with such a cute and beautiful girl. But now, as he compares that beautiful memory with today's harsh reality, he thinks to himself, "I never expected that our relationship would end like this." At that moment, Ye Chen starts walking straight toward Brother Gua. Seeing Ye Chen approaching him in anger, Brother Gua becomes extremely nervous. He slowly steps back and stutters, Why you? What are you doing? But without wasting any time, Ye Chen moves forward, grabs Brother Gua's arm, and twists it so hard that the loud cracking sound of a bone breaking echoes in the air. Brother Gua screams in pain. Seeing him writhing in agony, Ye Chen angrily asks, "Tell me, why did you falsely accuse me of stealing? And who instructed you to do it?" But Brother Gua, still trembling in pain, replies stubbornly, "Because I'm part of the underworld, I stopped caring about life and death a long time ago. If you've got the guts, then kill me, but let me remind you, if you go against me, you'll definitely regret it." Watching this scene, Shaji, who is standing nearby, becomes terrified. He realizes that if Ye Chen makes this thug confess the truth, all his secrets will be exposed. Nervously, he thinks, if Ye Chen forces him to spill the truth, I'll be in huge trouble. As soon as this fear hits him, he suddenly shouts loudly, "Ye Chen, stop! Do you really want to kill someone in front of Grandma?" Hearing Xiao Jie's voice, Ye Chen stops. He turns toward the Wong family and says in a serious tone, "I'll say this one more time. I have never stolen anything from the Wong family. If you have any evidence, you can call the police right now and have me arrested. But don't ever say again that not calling the police is for my own good, or that you can't bear to see me go to jail." After saying this, Ye Chen begins walking toward the exit. Suddenly, Hua the dog runs over and grabs Ye Chen's leg. Ye Chen bends down and gently picks up the dog. Looking at Hua, he smiles and thinks to himself, "Hua, in my eyes, the only thing in the Wong family worth stealing is you." Then he softly says to the dog, "I won't be living here anymore, so don't be picky about your food." After that, he places the dog back on the ground. And with that, Ye Chen finally leaves the Wong family's house. As soon as he walks out the door, Xiao Jie nervously asks Ji Chang, "Dad, are we really just going to let him leave like that?" Hearing this, Ji Chang takes a deep breath and helplessly replies, "No one here can defeat him. We'll have to use other methods to deal with him later." A short while later, the thugs lying on the ground slowly start getting up while groaning in pain. Seeing them stand, Xiao Jie thinks nervously, "Today we seriously offended Brother Gua. We'll have to appease him properly." He cautiously walks forward and asks, "Brother Gua, are you all right?" But the moment Brother Gua hears his voice, he becomes furious. He suddenly grabs Xiao Jie by the collar and shouts in his face, "You brat! What kind of monster did you bring for me to deal with? You'll have to pay another 1 million to cover my brother's medical expenses." Even after hearing this huge demand, Xiao Jie immediately replies, "Money isn't a problem, as long as you teach Ye Chen a brutal lesson, and if possible, kill him." Hearing this deal, Brother Gua finally calms down a little. As he gets into the car with his men, he says, "Fine. I'll definitely settle this matter with Ye Chen. I'm in a hurry right now, so I'm leaving." While driving away, Brother Gua angrily mutters to himself, "Today Ye Chen humiliated me in front of everyone, and even broke my arm. I will definitely take revenge for this." With this burning desire for revenge, the scene shifts. We arrive directly at a luxurious conference room inside the Huaxing Group. Here, Ye Chen is sitting in the boss's chair, with Qin Hongyan and the other board members seated nearby. Leading the meeting, Ye Chen announces, "Since everyone agrees, from now on we will officially begin cooperation with Dingqing Real Estate." Then he turns toward Qin Hongyan and orders, "Hongyan, inform the Wong family, I mean Dingqing Real Estate, to send someone here so they can explain the project plans to me in detail. I also want to inspect their preparations." Upon hearing the order, Qin Hongyan immediately replies, "Yes, I'll notify them right away." After the meeting ends, the story shifts once again to Shirshan Villa. Here, Ji Chang looks extremely excited and happy. He runs in and excitedly tells old Madame Wang, "Mom! President Qin just called me. She said that the CEO of Huaxing Group has agreed to finance us with 70 million. However, he wants to meet me face to face to discuss the project so he can personally see how well prepared we are." Hearing this, old Madame Wang becomes overjoyed. She tells her son, "Ji Chang, you must perform well so that President Yi gets a good impression of you. We want to continue cooperating with Huaxing Group in the future." Hearing this, Ye Chen confidently replies, "Yes, I will definitely perform well in front of President Yi." But just then, Yuan suddenly walks in. She wants to take advantage of this opportunity to meet the rich CEO. Stopping her father, she asks, "Dad, can I come with you too?" Last time we saw that Wang Jiqiang was getting ready to go to President Ye's company. Just then, Yuan suddenly arrived there and started insisting that she go with him as well. Seeing this, Jiqiang was a little surprised and asked her, "Are you going there too?" Hearing this, Yuan replied with great confidence, "I heard that he is handsome and young, not like the other CEOs." As soon as she said this, Jiechi, who was standing there, could not hold herself back anymore and immediately interrupted her, saying, Yuan, no matter how handsome President Yi is, he already belongs to someone else. Did you forget that President Qin and President Yi are lovers?" After hearing Jiechi say this, a proud expression appeared on Yuan's face, and she said arrogantly, "What does that have to do with you? They are only lovers, they are not married. And besides, I am younger than Qin Hongyan and my figure is better than hers, so why can't I snatch President Yi away from her?" Seeing Yuan's overconfidence, her brother Shaji Jie, who was standing there, immediately stepped forward and supported his sister. "That's absolutely right. I support my sister." During this argument, old Madame Wong also sided with Yuan's thinking and said, "Yuan's thinking is absolutely correct. In this world, capable men are very rare. If you want to obtain them, you have to fight for them. Yuan, this time you will go to Huashan Group with your father to meet President Yi." The moment Yuan heard such permission from her grandmother, she jumped with happiness, and quickly thanked her, saying, "Ah, really? Thank you, Grandma. May Grandma live a long life." Seeing all this, Jiechi, who was standing on the other side, started thinking to herself, "The idea of the first-class private residence project was first given by me. But Grandma gave the responsibility of it to Uncle's family. She could not tolerate this unfairness, so she immediately spoke up and said, I also want to go." The moment she said this, Yuan immediately mocked her and said, "Sister Jiechi, you are already a divorced woman. Do you really think President Yi would even look at a woman who is going to marry for the second time?" During this harsh remark, their grandmother also supported Yuan and said while looking at Jiechi, Yuan is absolutely right. Even if you are more beautiful, I have already decided to match President Yi with Yuan. Jiechi, you should just compromise and marry Fong Chiao." With all this support, Yuan became even more arrogant. She happily massaged her grandmother's shoulders and assured her, "Don't worry, Grandma. I will definitely win President Ye's heart." Hearing all these things made Jiechi so angry that she clenched her fists tightly and thought to herself, "It's always like this. Grandma always shows favoritism." About 1 hour later, the scene shifts, and we see the building of Huashan Group. There, Secretary Rong enters President Ye's office and informs him, "President Yi, Wang Jiqiang and his daughter have come to meet you." Hearing this, President Yi replied without any special reaction, "Let them wait in the reception room." Rong immediately nodded and said, "Yes, sir." But just then, President Yi gave another order from behind and said, "Oh, and listen, don't serve them tea." After this order, the scene shifts directly to the reception room, where Yuan and her father Jiqiang were sitting alone. Yuan was wearing a very tight blue qipao dress with a high slit, and she looked a little uncomfortable in it. She asked her father, "Dad, why did you make me wear this qipao? Except for the slit on the leg, it is tight everywhere." Hearing this, Jiqiang explained to her, "You don't understand. If you wear very revealing clothes in the first meeting, President Yi will look down on you. He will think you are a cheap woman who does not care about her dignity. Your goal is to marry into the Yi family, not to become President Ye's lover or mistress. You must present yourself as classy. Only then will President Yi understand your value." After understanding her father's long strategy, a smile appeared on Yuan's lips and she said, "Thank you, Dad. I will definitely snatch President Yi away from Qin Hongyan." At the same time, Jiqiang started thinking greedily in his mind. If Yuan manages to win President Ye's heart, then the position of the head of the Wong family will be mine. While they were thinking about all this, more than 10 minutes passed, but no one had even offered them a glass of water. Yuan said irritably. Why haven't they even given us a cup of tea yet? Is Huashan Group's hospitality this bad? In anger, she stepped forward and called out to Secretary Rong. Secretary Rong, bring us 2 cups of tea. I want black tea. Rong calmly replied. Okay, please wait a moment. But another 10 minutes passed, and nothing happened. After waiting for so long, Yuan's anger reached the sky and she shouted loudly. I'm really getting angry. That secretary still hasn't brought the tea. Seeing her behavior, Ye Chen quickly calmed her down and said, Once you become President Ye's wife, you can fire her directly. Don't get angry right now. President Ye may come in at any moment. Hearing her father's words, Yuan calmed down a little and immediately adjusted her clothes. Then she sat straight like a queen with a calm and elegant posture. But their waiting still did not end. Another half-hour passed, and now Yuan's entire body was exhausted. Wearing that tight dress, she collapsed onto the sofa and said while breathing heavily, Dad, I can't tolerate this anymore. Sitting like a refined and elegant lady is really tiring. Why hasn't President Yi arrived yet? Seeing her condition and after such a long wait, Ye Chen's face also became tense, and he said, It seems President Yi doesn't value us at all. He made us wait for a whole hour. But before he could even finish his sentence, suddenly the door of the reception room opened with a click, and the moment it opened, Ye Chen walked in. Seeing Ye Chen appear there so suddenly, both Ye Chen and Yuan were stunned and froze in their places. Ye Chen first looked at Yuan, who was lying across the sofa casually, and seeing her posture, he mocked her and said, Sister Yuan, I know that at home you stay very relaxed and casual, but do you behave like this even outside? Didn't your father tell you that sitting like this in front of others is considered rude? Just then Ye Chen's eyes fell on her tight qipao dress, and looking at her from head to toe he said, You're wearing a qipao. In these 3 years this is the first time I've seen you wearing one. I didn't expect that there was still a little bit of Jiangnan elegance left in you. Hearing Ye Chen's sudden appearance and his comments, Yuan quickly sat straight and said angrily, Ye Chen, I didn't wear this qipao for you, so stop having any misunderstandings about me. You weren't even worthy of a woman like Wang Jia, so how could you possibly be worthy of me? Hearing this, Ye Chen replied, You misunderstood, I was just saying. But before he could finish speaking, Ye Chen interrupted and said, You are just a mere bodyguard. What are you doing here upstairs? Where is President Yi? Hearing all these words from the father and daughter, Ye Chen took a deep breath in his mind and thought, These two still cannot believe that I am the real manager of Huashan Group. So he brought the conversation directly to the point and said, You two came here to talk about the first-class famous residence project, right? Fine, tell me what you want to discuss. But the moment Ye Chen heard this, he became furious and said, You are just a cheap bodyguard, a useless man who only knows how to fight. Do you even understand anything about these big projects? Do you know the B of business? After hearing such continuous insults, Ye Chen's patience also started running out, and he looked at them coldly and said, So you mean you don't want to talk about it? Fine, as you wish. I'm leaving. As soon as Ye Chen turned toward the door, Yuan suddenly ran after him and grabbed his hand to stop him, and in a slightly hurried voice she said, Wait a minute, Ye Chen. Don't go yet. I need to ask you something important. Then she asked him, You have been Qin Hongyan's bodyguard for the last 2 days, right? So you must know very well about the romance and affair between Qin Hongyan and President Yi. Ye Chen didn't understand why this girl had suddenly turned into a gossip ant, but he casually replied, Yes, I know a little about it. The moment Yuan heard this, she became extremely excited and immediately asked, Ben, can you tell me how intimate their relationship really is? Do they stay together at night? Do they sleep at President Ye's house, or at Qin Hongyan's house? Hearing this endless chain of ridiculous questions, Ye Chen felt a little annoyed and thought to himself, This Wang Yuan really has a big mouth. She can spread anything like wildfire. Why not use her big mouth to completely destroy the rumors between me and Qin Hongyan? After thinking for a few seconds, Ye Chen kept a straight face and lied. They already broke up. The moment Yuan Yuan and Ji Qiang heard the word breakup, their eyes widened in shock. But the very next moment their shock turned into celebration. Ji Qiang started laughing loudly and shouted, "They broke up! God is really helping me. Heaven is truly blessing our Wong family. This is great news." On the other side, Yuan Yuan was also extremely happy and started dancing excitedly as she said, "A breakup? Nothing could be better than this." Seeing the father and daughter celebrating like crazy, Ye Chen looked at them strangely and asked, "Why are you two so happy after hearing about their breakup? What's so funny about it?" At this moment Yuan Yuan sat back on the sofa like a queen, with a smile on her face, and said to Ye Chen, "Ye Chen, oh no, calling you little Ye wouldn't sound right either, because President Ye's surname is also Ye. So I'll call you Little Chen." Hearing this sudden change in her attitude, Ye Chen became confused and thought to himself, "In just a few seconds you changed my name and title 3 times. What exactly is going on inside your small brain?" Then Ji Chen said, "Your brain really works like a pig's. Now you are just an ordinary employee of Huashan Group, right? That means President Ye is your boss. You should know that President Ye's future wife is going to be your ex-sister-in-law, my daughter Wan Yuan Yuan. Our family wants to form a powerful alliance with Huashan Group through Yuan Yuan's marriage. If this plan succeeds, even a brat like you will become a distant relative of our family." Hearing these unrealistic fantasies, sweat appeared on Ye Chen's forehead. He looked at Yuan Yuan and asked, "I'm asking you seriously, Sister Yuan Yuan. Are you really so arrogant and overconfident that you think President Yi will fall for you the moment he sees you?" Hearing this, Yuan Yuan proudly replied, "As long as the other person is a man, it is impossible for him to ignore my charm and beauty. I have always kept myself pure, and I have never even had a boyfriend before. I just need to take the initiative and show a little of my magic, and President Yi will definitely become crazy about me. And yes, there's one more thing. I have always suspected that the person who gifted that $1 million jet bracelet at Grandma's birthday party was none other than President Yi himself. Maybe President Yi has been my biggest admirer for a long time." After hearing all these ridiculous fantasies from her, it is going to be very interesting to see what new drama will happen next. So as we saw in the last part, Ye Chen had come to meet the members of the Wong family, but they were not ready to meet him. In this chapter, as Ye Chen is leaving, he thinks to himself that this Wan Yuan Yuan is way too confident in herself. Then he tells them that there is no need to investigate. The bracelet was actually given by the president of Huashan Group, President Yi. As soon as Ye Chen says this, Yuan Yuan jumps in excitement and proudly says, "Really? Really? Did President Yi actually give it?" Then she looks at her dad and says, "Dad, did you hear that? President Yi really likes me. I told you my guess was absolutely correct." Hearing this, Wang Jiaqiang starts laughing loudly. Then he says to Yuan Yuan, "I never thought that my son-in-law would actually be the president of Huashan Group." She also happily says, "I need to tell Grandma about this immediately. She will definitely be very happy." Meanwhile, seeing their disgusting smiles, Ye Chen thinks, "What a disgusting family. They are trying to scheme another marriage alliance between this family and the Wong family. They are just dreaming." Then Yuan Yuan angrily asks Ye Chen, "Tell me, where is President Yi right now? I want to meet him." Ye Chen replies, "President Yi is currently meeting guests in the reception room." Although Ye Chen is still telling the truth, because he is indeed meeting guests. Yuan Yuan gets annoyed and says, "It's been so long, why hasn't he come out yet? Are those guests that difficult to deal with?" Ye Chen smiles at her foolishness and says, "Yes, the client is a father and a daughter. The father is talking with President Yi, and the daughter, she is very beautiful and dressed in a very seductive way. Right now, she is trying to seduce President Yi. I don't think they will come out anytime soon." Yuan Yuan indirectly says to herself, "That lady is so cheap. Being so shameless in President Yi's company. Now I understand why President Yi hasn't come to meet us yet." Then she asks, "Which room are they in? I'll go slap that cheap woman." Wang Jiaqiang stops her and says, Don't be so impulsive, calm down. If you do something like that, your first impression on President Yi will be ruin. It's better if we wait here. As soon as President Yi is free, inform us immediately. And Yuan starts behaving as if she is already President Ye's wife. Hearing all this, Ye Chen leaves from there. Now after 5 minutes, Secretary Zhao arrives there. She says, Mr. and Miss Wong, President Yi had some urgent work, so he has left the company. He asked you both to go back for now. Hearing this, both of them are shocked and left speechless. Wang Jiaqian asks, Did President Yi say when he will be free? Will he come back this afternoon? Secretary Zhao replies, I'm not sure. For now, please go back. And with that, both of them are sent out of Huaxin Group. While leaving, Yuan says, It's a pity President Yi is so busy, otherwise I would have completely charmed him right here. Wang Jiaqian says, But this trip wasn't completely useless. At least now we know that the jade bracelet worth crores, which Grandma received, was actually given by President Yi. He calls his mother and says, Mom, it's me, Wang Jiaqian. Please have everyone wait at Shushan Villa, because I have something important to tell you. Now the scene shifts to Shushan Villa. All the Wong family members start gathering. Wang Jieqi asks, What happened? You just left and came back so quickly. Did the contract get finalized? Yuan says, No, it's not about the contract. There is another piece of good news. Then proudly she says, The jade bracelet worth crores that was gifted at Grandma's birthday banquet was actually given by President Yi of Huaxin Group. Hearing this, Wang Jieqi's parents are shocked and say, What? That gift was from President Yi? Wang Jieqi thinks in her heart, How did I even believe that Ye Chen could give such a gift? I really overestimated him at that time. Her father says, How is this good news? Her mother says, President Yi and President Qin were lovers, and President Qin also has a good relationship with our Wong family. If he sent the gift because of her, then why would he send it separately at the end? Wang Jiaqian shouts, Sulan! President Yi and President Qin have already broken up. If it was because of Miss Qin, then why send it separately? Sulan says, Then that means… Yuan immediately says, There's no need to even ask. President Yi gave that gift because of me. At that time, Sister Jieqi hadn't even divorced Ye Chen yet. Hearing this, old Madame Wang claps happily and says, This analysis sounds absolutely correct. I already knew that the person who sent the gift must like Yuan. But I never imagined that he would be the president of Huaxin Group. Then she says, It looks like because of Yuan, our Wang family's fate is about to change. Yuan goes to her grandma and says, Grandma, I will definitely develop a good relationship with President Yi and make our Wang family a first-class family in Yuzhou. Her grandma becomes extremely happy and says, Very good, very good. My granddaughter is truly capable. Hearing this, Wang Jieqi asks, Who told you all this? Is this news confirmed? Yuan replies, Your useless ex-husband told us. So obviously it's reliable. Then she tells everything that happened today. She says, Grandma, President Yi was very busy this morning, so he couldn't meet us. But this afternoon, I will go alone and meet him. Don't worry, I can handle it. Hearing this, Wang Jieqi tries to say something but stays silent. Yuan humiliates her and says, Sister, if you don't have any work this afternoon, will you act as my driver and drop me at Huaxin Group? Hearing this, Jieqi thinks, Wang Yuan has gone too far. She is humiliating me in front of the entire family. She angrily says, I'm very busy today, so I can't take you. Saying this, she runs out. Her mother tries to stop her, but she doesn't stop. In the next scene, she is driving her car somewhere. She is driving angrily, thinking about Yuan's words. Suddenly, a tree appears in front of her car. Because of the speed, she loses control, and before she realizes, she crashes into the tree. Crying, she says, I hate this. I really hate this, she also says. All of this happened because of Ye Chen. Because of him, I got humiliated in front of my family. Now the scene shifts to Huaxin Group. Ye Chen is sitting in his office doing paperwork when his phone rings. As soon as he picks up the call and says hello, a voice from the other side shouts, "Ye Chen, you bastard, I hate you!" Hearing Wang Zheqi's voice, Ye Chen thinks, even after all this time, this woman never reflects on herself. She only knows how to blame me. Taking a deep breath, he asks, "What happened?" Zheqi starts abusing him and then, while sobbing, says, "If you were pretending from the start that you gave the bracelet, then you should have kept pretending. Why did you tell them that the bracelet was given by President Yi? Why did you tell Uncle and Yuan the truth? Because of you, I lost my respect in the family. Do you even realize that?" Hearing this, Ye Chen says, "So that's the matter," and thinks, "I was telling the truth from the beginning. No one believed me." Zheqi cries and says, "Now the entire family thinks President Yi likes Wang Yuan. Even Grandma keeps praising her in front of everyone. And do you know what that rude Yuan said to me? She even asked me to become her driver. If she really marries President Yi in the future, I will have no respect left in the Wang family." Ye Chen asks, "Don't you have the young master of the Fong family?" She replies, "How can Fong Chiao be compared to President Yi? He isn't even the CEO of his own family business. Their levels are completely different." Ye Chen says, "Listening to you, I don't know whether I should be happy or not." Zheqi says, "Why would you be happy? Even if Fong Chiao isn't as good as President Yi, he is still 10,000 times better than you. At least he can help our Wang family and let me live with dignity inside and outside the family. And you only know how to embarrass me. Before the divorce, you left behind such a big mess that now I have to deal with." She gets furious at him. Ye Chen thinks in his mind that she is a foolish woman. Then he says, "If you just called to scold me, then I'm hanging up. I'm very busy right now." She says, "Wait a minute. I called you because I need your help." Ye Chen asks, "What do you want me to do?" And with this question, this video ends here.